Chapter 1129. Ha! Bald demon god, how dare you break through my demon court's heavenly gate? With your grandpa Tong Tien Ape King here, don't even think about it. I'll hit you. Just as the coiling dragon pillar was about to hit the southern heaven gate, a golden rod instantly extended from the demon court. With a furious roar, it struck the huge coiling dragon pillar heavily. Bang! The surrounding space immediately shattered, and the coiling dragon pillar was sent flying backwards. At the same time, the golden rod fell into the air and was grabbed by an ape covered in golden fur. A golden divine ape that was over 10,000 meters tall stood above the southern heavens gate. He wore a golden armor and a purple gold crown. Two slender divine feathers were attached to the crown, and his golden eyes shone with a dazzling divine light. He exuded an incredible power from his body, as if he was a supreme god of war. Master Tong Tien Ape King Know-It-All, you were not killed in the ancient times. Today, I'll send you to the afterlife. Coiling dragon staff technique, dragon roaring to the heavens. The dragon emperor looked at Know-It-All with a cruel expression and roared. The coiling dragon pillar instantly shrunk and turned into a crystal rod. He smashed the stick toward Know-It-All. Roar, 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 roar. The coiling dragon staff exuded a supreme will. Countless dragon claws rushed out from the staff, and each dragon claw could tear a peerless expert into pieces. Wherever the staff went, the void was quickly torn apart. It carried a ferocious demonic aura. Ha! 1000-weight staff technique, 1000-weight sweep. Know-It-All let out a strange cry and turned his wrist. Immediately, the 1000-pound rod in his hand burst out a dazzling golden light and swept toward the coiling dragon rod. Wherever it passed, the void was strangely distorted by an immeasurable pressure. It was as if there was a terrifying gravity under the 1000-pound rod. Rumble. Countless cudgel shadows violently collided together. One could clearly see that under the cudgel shadows, those dragon claws actually seemed to bear an unimaginable gravitational force. Their movement speed was abnormally slow, but they still possessed a ferocious fighting strength. When they collided with the cudgel shadows, the dragon claws and cudgel shadows were annihilated on the spot, turning into dust. The 1000-catty staff technique could only be described in one word: heavy. Not only did each strike possess a terrifying gravitational force, but it also carried a terrifying power that could shatter anything. It was extremely overbearing and terrifying. However, the coiling dragon staff technique focused on attacking. It was exceptionally sharp and tyrannical. When the two collided, the battle was incomparably intense. Outside the southern heaven gate, countless shadows of the rod filled every inch of the void. They were densely packed and stacked on top of one another. Any demon god or monster that entered this area would be crushed into pieces. The demon court does have some hidden cards to play. However, a mere ancient monster spirit dares to stop us? I want to see what other trump cards the Yarrow clan has up their sleeves without the Yarrow emperor. I'll deal with these little monsters first. Yu Jiutian was shrouded in a black robe and his voice was filled with an eerie aura. He gently shook the ghost demon lantern in his hand and an eerie light suddenly appeared from the ancient lantern. Strands of light covered the entire battlefield. Every ray of light was like the sharpest spear. It was the most frightening needle prick. It fell on the many demon warriors on the battlefield. Ah! 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 Shrill screams came from the mouths of the demons and their faces were filled with pain. The moment the light shone on them, they felt a terrifying pain coming from their divine souls. It was as if their divine souls were pierced by countless needles. The pain was almost indescribable. However, even at this moment, he could feel the damage to his body. He could feel that his spiritual soul was constantly dissipating, and he was on the verge of death. The eyes of the demon race warriors became crazier and crazier. They roared to the sky, "Your Majesty, we can no longer fight for the Yarrow clan and fight for your honor. However, as warriors, we will not disgrace the heroic souls of our ancestors. Even if we die, we will bring the demon god down with us." Kill. Rumble. Sensing the changes in their bodies and the fact that they were on the verge of death, the demons let out their last battle cry and offered their last loyalty. They pounced on the demon god in front of them. His entire demonic body swelled violently before exploding with a loud bang. His body exploded into pieces and the demon god beside him was also blasted into smithereens. Self-explosion. This was a self-explosion that was full of determination, unyielding, and bloodthirsty. It was the last battle cry before they died. A series of terrifying explosions tore the void apart on the spot. Countless demon gods were buried with the demons in the self-explosion. The Yarrow clan was strong. What's the use of being unyielding when you're just a bunch of clowns? Spectre ship. Yu Jotian sneered at the tragic scene in front of him. He was not moved at all. He did not care about anyone below the level of unparalleled. The demonic lamp swayed gently, and countless illusory spirits gushed out from the ancient lamp like a tide. In the blink of an eye, these spectres gathered in midair and strangely formed a huge, pitch-black, ancient ship. This ship was completely formed from the bodies of countless spectres. One could clearly see countless ferocious faces flashing on every inch of the ship. This was not an ordinary ship, but a spectre ship. Yu Jotian rushed onto the spectre ship, and the ancient lamp in his hand flew to the bow of the ship to guide the warship. An unimaginable power radiated from the ship. It was as if this was a warship that led to the land of death. A ship of death that reaped countless lives. Rumble. The spectre ship shook slightly and emitted a terrifying divine light. It charged toward the East Heaven's Gate with an unstoppable momentum. He wanted to shatter the Heaven's Gate with one blow. Bam! However, just as it was about to hit the Heaven's Gate, a huge golden star that emitted blazing flames suddenly flashed out of the void and blocked the spectre ship's path. The two collided violently. With a loud boom, countless streams of terrifying true sun fire splashed out. The countless spirits on the spectre ship were burned to ashes by the true sun fire. Timpete. You demon gods are really bold to sneak into my origin world and ambush the demons. If you succeed today, all the cultivators on the origin world will be disgraced. Within the sun star that was enveloped in golden sun primordial fire, a tall old man stood proudly. His body naturally exuded an indomitable aura as he coldly shouted in a sonorous and forceful voice. That's right. We must kill all these demon gods this time. Otherwise, they will cause us great losses in the future. Azura Sad's face was cold, but there was a shocking murderous aura surging from his body. A slender saber had already fallen into his hand. The umbrella was put away. The five great beings who were hiding in the void saw the demon emperor among the demon gods begin to attack, and they no longer had the mood to continue watching. Their purpose for coming here was to help the demon race and give the demon emperor a favor. If they did not attack now, when would they attack? The appearance of the five great beings immediately caused a series of changes on the battlefield. Shwe Ini had a strange expression on his face, and he sneered. As expected, there is an old fool who doesn't know the difference between life and death. It's better that he's here. Otherwise, he'll stay here forever. Kill. He raised the blood god's ruler and swung it elegantly towards Azura Sad. It was as if there was no distance between heaven and earth under the ruler, and it instantly appeared in front of Azura Sad and slapped towards his head. Kill. Shura Sad Shura's voice was filled with murderous intent. The battle blade in his hand slashed towards the blood-stained clothes. At the same time, his body moved slightly to the side. He did not try to defend himself. Instead, he tried to attack, and attack again. Attack was the best defense. The Shura clan had an extraordinary talent for battle. The moment they attacked, they would use methods that would cause both sides to suffer. The Azura race was born for battle. At the same time, the other three powerhouses from the skeleton tribe were also engaged in a fierce battle with the 100 Desire Witch and the other two demon emperors. Once these peerless powerhouses clashed, each of their attacks contained a terrifying might that could pierce through the heavens and earth. In an instant, 6 unique battlefields were formed outside the demon court. Good. 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 The more intense the battle, the better. The more intense it is, the more damage it will cause to the void in the demon-suppressing valley, and the demon-suppressing tower's power will be weakened. The day I break out of the seal has finally arrived. Bewitching heart lay on the huge demon heart, and a joyful expression appeared on her face. Vaguely, one could see that on the heart, there were strange blood vessels that quickly drilled into the tower, connecting with the spatial corridors. The originally snow-white and transparent spatial corridors had mostly turned pitch black. Every time the demon heart beat, it would spew out endless demonic power and pour it into the tower. Bewitching Heart did not only want to break out of the seal, but she also wanted to use her demon heart as the heart of the demon-suppressing tower. With the demon-suppressing tower as her body, she would completely break out of the seal and obtain power that was far stronger than a half-step demon ancestor. Now that she thought about it, her plan had almost succeeded. The power in the demon-suppressing valley came from the demon-suppressing tower. Now that the fierce battle in the valley was constantly destroying the void in the demon-suppressing valley, the demon-suppressing tower was constantly releasing its power to maintain the stability of the valley. This release allowed Bewitching Heart to take advantage of it and corrode it even faster. Plop, plop. One could clearly hear the violent beating of the demon heart again and again. Moreover, the frequency was constantly increasing and decreasing. The pitch-black demonic light quickly covered all the spatial corridors. In the blink of an eye, it was like a hot knife through butter, completely corroding all the corridors. The crystal-like demon-suppressing tower that was emitting a pitch-black demonic light was quickly covered by the black demonic light. Even the Sariras on it turned pitch-black, and the Buddhas turned into demons. The Buddhist chants that were emitted turned into demonic chants of temptation. Rumble. The demon-suppressing tower rose from the ground. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chijien.com to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1130. Rumble. The devil-suppressing pagoda was connected to the entire devil-suppressing valley. It was as though they grew together. At this moment, when the pagoda was uprooted from the ground, the entire battle island was shaking violently. There were continuous rumbles. In the void, countless thunderbolts were roaring crazily. They flickered continuously. Bolts of lightning were almost piercing through the heavens and earth. That terrifying rumbling sound could not be blocked by any power. What is that? The change was too intense. Even the bitter battlefield paused for a moment. Pairs of eyes were looking at the huge pagoda that was emitting demonic aura. Outside the 9-floored pagoda, there were 9 terrifying halos. There were Asuras, Buddhas, Taoists, river styx, righteous chi, godly auras, thunderbolts, raging flames, stars, and befuddled dreams. The 9 halos were revolving around the devil-suppressing pagoda. At this moment, all the halos were emitting a demonic divine radiance. It was emitting a boundless pressure that could suppress the ancient times and sweep across all directions. When it rolled over, even the peerless realm experts felt that they couldn't resist it. When Xing Dingtian and the other experts saw this, they couldn't help but feel astonished. Demon Empress, Demon Concubine, I'm afraid that the situation on the battlefield has changed. If this subject is not mistaken, this place should be the devil-suppressing valley that His Majesty had entered back then. Only in the devil-suppressing valley would there be so many devil gods. Furthermore, there might be a passageway that connects to the banished land, continuously transporting devil gods from the banished land. Although there are a few almighty experts assisting from the front, according to what His Majesty said back then, this pagoda should be suppressing the devil heart that fell from the devil ancestor during the ancient times. The devil heart had transformed into a half-step devil ancestor expert. From the looks of it, the seal has changed. If that half-step devil ancestor really broke the seal, our demon court might be in danger. Meng Shi looked at the changes outside and reported to Chen Shi and the others in a deep voice. Half-step devil ancestor? Chen Shi's expression slightly changed. The half-step demon ancestor was only half a step away from the demon ancestor. Compared to the peerless realm, it was much more tyrannical. If the demon court were to face such an expert, it would indeed be very dangerous. However, there was no way out at this moment. Once the battle began, it would not end unless one side was defeated. Devil-suppressing pagoda, this is devil-suppressing valley. No wonder there are so many devil gods. Jiyu Wushuang could not help but cry out in surprise. The devil suppression pagoda is suppressing the heart of a devil ancestor. Once one refines and refines it, one will obtain the Tao foundation to advance to the ruler realm. However, from the looks of it, the possibility of that happening has shrunk without limit. That devil heart has already turned into a spirit, and it has already started to break out of the seal. Xing Dingtian's eyes narrowed rapidly as they flickered with traces of shrewd radiance. Ha ha, Lord Demon Heart has finally broken out of the seal. We've moved the demon court into Demon Suppression Valley and fought with them. As expected, it was of great help to Lord Demon Heart in breaking the seal. Good. As long as they broke out of the seal, all the demon clan here, even the peerless great divine ability masters, would die. They are the meat in our mouths. The Dragon Emperor let out a burst of wild laughter as his face revealed an excited expression. Ha ha. A crisp laughter echoed from the void. Almost all the cultivators, devil gods, and demon clans felt countless desires surging in their minds in an instant. All kinds of inner devils surged out like a tide. It possessed unimaginable mighty power. At this moment, almost all the cultivators were willing to die for the owner of the laughter. They were willing to do anything. Even if it was a mountain of swords or a sea of flames, they would not shrink back. They wanted to completely submit to the other party. Even Xing Dingtian and the other almighties had the same feeling. It was almost impossible to suppress such thoughts. Dang! Right at this moment, in the demon court, an ancient bell suddenly rang. The bell rang with endless reincarnation sounds and even a kind of clear energy that was transmitted to the ears of all the demon clans. It immediately shattered the inner devils that were born in their minds. One after another, they recovered from that strange state. At the same time, they could not help but feel a lingering fear in their hearts. Terrifying. It was too scary. Just a few laughs were enough to make so many cultivators want to submit. This kind of power made Azura sad and the other powerful figures feel cold sweat on their backs. Such a scene was really too terrifying. That feeling of not being able to control one's body was something that even the most powerful almighties would be afraid of. The demon-suppressing pagoda rose into the air and appeared in mid-air. A burst of 7-colored divine radiance flashed, and the demon-suppressing pagoda underwent an intense change in a strange way. The entire divine pagoda shattered into countless tiny fragments and turned into indestructible crystals. They quickly converged in the center. In the blink of an eye, an extremely beautiful body appeared in front of all the cultivators. Her waist was as soft as a spirit snake, and her jet-black hair extended all the way to her full and perky buttocks. Her perfect curves outlined her flawless body. Her face was exquisite to the extreme. It looked perfect to the extreme. There was not a single flaw on it. Her eyes were like the stars, and her slightly opened red lips were filled with endless temptation. She wore a rainbow-colored robe, and was not as revealing as the 100 Desire Witch. She was already an indescribable beauty. Beautiful, so beautiful that it shook one's soul. It was almost impossible to describe with words. It was as if all the beauty in the world had gathered on her body. Even if it was just a raise of a hand or a frown, it had the power to change the color of heaven and earth. Even a smile could cause heaven and earth to follow. If she smiled, heaven and earth would brighten. If she cried, heaven and earth would weep. Welcome, Lord Bewitching Heart, for breaking out of the seal. From now on, you will be unstoppable in this world. Xue Yini and the other demon emperors bowed at the same time. Countless demon gods also knelt down. They shouted loudly, and their faces revealed that they were willing to die for Bewitching Heart. Hee hee. Everyone, rise. Bewitching Heart chuckled. Instantly, the entire demon-suppressing valley lit up. She had refined the demon-suppressing pagoda into her body. Her battle strength had reached an unimaginable level. The strength of her charm was immeasurable. Looking at the demon court that stood proudly in mid-air, she smiled faintly. Since the demon emperors didn't come, I'll break your demon court. Let's see how you're going to hide from me then. As soon as she finished speaking, she blinked her beautiful eyes and casually flicked her finger at the southern heavenly gate. Whoosh! A golden finger rolled toward the southern heavenly gate inch by inch. It seemed slow, but it was unbelievably fast. In an instant, it crossed a large distance. Countless Buddhas in black kasayas appeared on this jade-like finger. The scriptures that were released were filled with charm and demonic nature. It directly blasted toward the southern heavenly gate. If you want to break the gate, you'll have to ask for my permission first. Just as the finger was about to poke the southern heavenly gate, the cold, statue-like battle body that had been standing in front of the gate all this time suddenly opened its eyes. 2 threatening divine lights shot out. Light flashed in its hand, and an ancient crystal-like seal appeared. The southern heavenly king held the ancient seal in his hand and smashed it toward the finger domineeringly. He roared, "Brothers, the 4 of you are one. Pour all your power into me. Heavenly King Seal, I am the king of the heavens. Rumble." Almost instantly, 3 majestic forces poured into the southern heavenly king's body. His entire battle body expanded at an astonishing speed. In the blink of an eye, it reached 10,000 feet tall. The heavenly king seal in his hand flashed with mysterious runes and collided with the jade-like finger. Amid a terrifying explosion, the entire demon court shook violently a few times. It was like an earthquake. However, the South Sky King was really strong. With the support of the other 3 Sky Kings, it was as if he had taken an aphrodisiac. The Sky King's seal in his hand crushed the finger at a speed visible to the naked eye. It was crushed into powder. For directions, heavenly gate. Mai Xin blinked and looked at the southern heavenly king. She could feel the mysterious connection between him and the southern heavenly gate. She could not help but say slowly. As she said that, her expression suddenly changed. Her body shook slightly, and a mysterious pagoda appeared above her head. A cold snort came from midair. As the snort fell, a 5-finger mountain that flashed with 5 elements divine light descended from the sky. It turned into a divine mountain that was hundreds of thousands of feet tall and pressed down on Mai Xin coldly. Rumble. 9 halos appeared on the pagoda. Within them, countless Buddhas, Taoists, Asuras, and even a large number of lightning bolts blasted toward the 5-finger mountain like a tide. On the spot, countless voids in the area where the battle took place were shattered and annihilated. They turned into powder. After a short stalemate, the 5-finger mountain turned into powder. The pagoda also quickly sank into Mai Xin's body. Only the countless terrifying cracks in the void indicated how terrifying the confrontation had been. In the void, a figure in a black imperial robe appeared out of nowhere. He stood on the spot. The moment they appeared, countless demonic beasts' eyes flashed with a fanatical look, as well as a high fighting spirit. Demon Emperor, you've actually reached the half-step sovereign realm. Mai Xin looked at Di Shitian with surprise in her eyes. When they first met, he was only an ancient heavenly demon. Now, after a short period of time, he was already a half-step sovereign. With such a cultivation speed, even she was shocked to the point of being dumbfounded. She found it unbelievable. Mai Xin. Di Shitian looked at the peerless demon girl in front of him, who was almost flawless. He took a deep breath and said coldly, "This emperor also didn't expect that you would be able to break out of the Space Dominus seal. However, since you dared to scheme against the demon court, even if you break out of the seal today, this emperor can still suppress you again." His words were cold and murderous. When he saw the damage done to the demon race, the intense murderous aura caused the rage in his heart to surge continuously. Boundless killing intent toward the demon god in the valley arose. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1131. Although he felt a pang of heartache for the loss of the 5 armies of the demon race, he was still impressed by the fact that the demon court of soaring heaven didn't retreat when facing so many powerful demon gods and even demon emperors when he wasn't in the demon court. Instead, they dared to come out of the ancient city and fight the demon gods head-on. They did not fear death. Sakura also felt a kind of gratification and pride. He did not build the demon court to seal the bloodthirst of all demon race members. Now, the bloodthirst of the demon race still existed, and it was not inferior to the ancestors of ancient times. This fighting spirit and this determination to die made him nod inwardly. The demon race that dominated the world in ancient times had finally returned. However, this did not diminish the intense killing intent in his heart towards the demon gods in front of him. His eyes were filled with cold killing intent as he looked at Mai-Shin. Wherever he looked, the space around him would twist strangely. Wait, Demon Emperor, you are really heartless. You want to kill me as soon as you see me. Can't you be a little more refined? Why don't we have a chat first? Perhaps we will gain something different. When Mai-Shin saw that Dai Shitian was about to attack, she revealed an aggrieved expression. Anyone who saw it would only feel that she was committing a crime. However, there was an inexplicable charm in her voice. Oh! A thought quickly flashed through Dai Shitian's mind, and a strange expression appeared between his brows. With a wave of his hand, an invisible barrier instantly appeared around them, enveloping the two of them. All sound seemed to be completely blocked out in an instant. Outside, only two figures could be seen talking in the void, but not a single sound could be heard. Moreover, the barrier outside seemed to have a distorting power, and the figures that could be seen were somewhat distorted. It was impossible to guess what was going on by lip reading. For a moment, the demons were all surprised. In the void, Dai Shitian looked coldly at Mai-Shin and said expressionlessly, "You sent your subordinates to continuously attack the demon court, and even personally attacked the heavenly gate. Under such circumstances, what do you think this emperor has to say to you?" Although he guessed that Mai-Shin had something to rely on, his tone was still cold. In this world, there are only eternal benefits, no eternal enemies. Mai-Shin chuckled and grabbed a strand of her hair. She played with it and said, "I came here today to make a deal with you." "A deal?" Dai Shitian pondered for a moment before asking meaningfully, "What kind of deal?" "It's very simple. I want you to help me kill the heart-devouring devil ancestor in the immeasurable calamity that will come after the annihilation tide." A vicious look flashed across Mai-Shin's face. It was filled with cold killing intent. He did not hide his determination at all. Kill devouring heart. The light in Dai Shitian's eyes instantly shot forward. Divine light surged. He was shocked by those words, not because he wanted to kill a demon ancestor, but because he had seen with his own eyes that the bewitching heart in front of him was a part of Shishin's body. It could be said that the two were originally one. Now, the bewitching heart wanted to kill his original body. This was an unimaginable accident. However, Dai Shitian was extremely intelligent. His eyes flashed with a wise light. In the blink of an eye, he figured out the bewitching heart's true motive. He was already 70% convinced. The bewitching heart did have a reason to kill his original body. However, if he was asked to help a demon god without any other reason, how could he be persuaded? "What good will it do for me to help you kill the heart-devouring devil ancestor?" Dai Shitian asked without hiding anything. At his level, any kind of roundabout behavior was just a kind of unnecessary behavior. Conspiracies were always moves that could not be brought to the table. Compared to open conspiracies were obviously better. However, conspiracies were only used by the weak, because they did not dare to face the enemy head-on. No matter what your reason was, you did not have the courage to face your opponent head-on. Conspiracies were methods, but they were always inferior. As for overt schemes, it was the kind of scheme where one could still make the other party do as they wished even if they knew that there was a threat. In terms of level and momentum, the two were no longer on the same level. Only by combining benefits with benefits could the final result be obtained. Who would win and who would lose would depend entirely on oneself. At Dai Shitian and the bewitching heart's level, they naturally would not use any conspiracies. They were always straightforward. However, since there were benefits, why would he help her if there were no benefits? Why would he give up on the hatred of the demon race in front of him? Benefits. The bewitching heart exuded boundless charm. She smiled and said, "Of course there are benefits. As long as you are willing to help me, I will be your demon concubine from now on. I will sever my relationship with the demon god and wholeheartedly assist you." If these words were to spread, it would be enough to shock countless experts. Who was the bewitching heart? She was a peerless demon girl who could enter the top 10 of the beauty chart. She was comparable to Chen Shi, Bai Hu, and Katomi. Moreover, Her strength had entered the half-step demon ancestor realm. With the demon suppressing pagoda as her body, it was unknown how much stronger she had become. If such an existence were to enter the Lingxiao demon court, he would be a powerful stabilizing force. Who knew how many cultivators would go crazy for her? It would be unbelievably beneficial to the demon court's strength. Di Shitian was stunned when he heard this. He was shocked by the meaning of those words. However, a demon girl was a demon girl. Her temperament was fickle, and no one could be sure if it was true or false. Such benefits were just a mirage, a castle in the air. There was not much substance to it. Moreover, the bewitching heart is the 9 cauldrons beauty girl. If you and I dual cultivate, we can instantly obtain the 9 cauldrons power of creation. It will help you break through the bottleneck and enter the sovereign realm, the bewitching heart said sincerely. Benefits. Only visible benefits would be attractive. Sovereign. 4 half-step sovereigns, the sovereign realm was one of the irresistible goals. In the world, the power of creation was extremely mysterious. The great Tao of creation was one of the great Taos ranked at the top. It had unimaginable power to any cultivator. The 9 cauldrons beauty girl true body was the most mysterious cauldron body in the world. The 9 cauldrons represented all life in the world. In ancient times, cauldrons were national treasures that only emperors could possess. They represented the Tao of emperors. It also meant that only the strongest emperors had the right to enjoy the 9 cauldrons beauty girl true body. Other cultivators would not even be able to touch it. Furthermore, the result of dual cultivation would be the supreme true force of creation. It would bring unparalleled benefits to those who cultivated the Tao of emperors. Demon Emperor, only an extraordinary man like you is worthy of the company of the bewitching heart. With your strength, the sovereign realm might not be your peak. I am willing to stand behind you and watch you reach the peak. I don't know what you think. The bewitching heart's voice was filled with endless tenderness. Strand after strand of endless black hair constantly wrapped around Di Shitian. TSK, TSK. Crazy Emperor, accept her. This kind of fortune is unique in the world. A demoness. If you dual cultivate with such a demoness, it will be a supreme pleasure. If she becomes your concubine, the demon court's strength will definitely increase greatly. With your strength, you won't be afraid that you can't subdue her. Moreover, she is the most wonderful cauldron body in the world. Once you dual cultivate, you may directly step into the sovereign realm. This is the greatest benefit. As long as you become a sovereign, you won't have to worry about her rebelling. It would be a waste to reject such a good fortune. Nether was drooling in the nether prison. She cried out loudly. Both of his eyes were about to light up. Di Shitian lowered his eyebrows and pondered, secretly weighing the gains and losses in his mind. After a long time, a look of determination flashed in his eyes. Outside, the crowd of monsters and devils didn't start fighting again. Instead, they looked at the 2 figures in the void. After seeing that they didn't fight on the spot, a strange look appeared on their faces. Since the Demon Emperor has arrived, why didn't he fight with the demoness? Instead, he seems to be chatting happily. Could it be that the Demon Emperor has been bewitched by the demoness? Jiyu Wuhuan muttered to himself in surprise. This situation is indeed a little strange. However, the Demon Emperor's cultivator is really terrifying. Especially his speed of improvement, which is rare in the world. He actually has the power of a half-step sovereign. It's too unbelievable. Jiyu Wushuang nodded and said with a trace of shock. Xue Yini looked at the scene in the void. A strange look flashed in his eyes. Suddenly, he said, "Not good, there's a change in the situation. Let's go." Xue Yini's expression changed. After saying that, his whole body strangely turned into an illusory blood shadow and instantly disappeared into the void. He was actually fleeing at an astonishing speed. Want to leave? Void imprisonment, lightning prison, 5 elements lock. At the same time that Xue Yini moved, Di Shitian walked step by step toward the demon emperors from the void and issued a majestic order. It was filled with endless majesty. Rumble. Immediately, the void around the dragon emperor, the 100 desire demoness, the devouring demon emperor, and the others froze strangely. Chains containing the 5 elements' origin energy appeared from the void and quickly bound them. Each of the chains carried a terrifying amount of power. Ah! Bewitching, are you thinking of joining the demon race and betraying the demon god? Bewitching, you are the demon ancestor of the demon god continent. How can you join the demon race? When the demon god conquers purple gold, you will suffer the most terrible judgment. Kill everyone, break the seal together. The demon emperors instantly guessed that this change must have something to do with bewitching. They immediately roared, their voices filled with endless grief and anger. At the same time, they attacked the void. Rumble. In an instant, countless rays of demonic light flashed and enveloped the void, causing a violent roar. A terrifying demonic aura erupted. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chijien.com to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1132. Wind. Boundless demonic fog shrouded the void, but with a single word from Di Shitian, gusts of wind started to blow. This wind was no ordinary wind, but the most terrifying 9 dark yin wind in the world. When it blew on the demonic fog, it was as though darkness had come into contact with sunlight, dissipating at a speed visible to the naked eye. In the blink of an eye, the scene within the demonic fog appeared before everyone's eyes. 3 venerables escaped. Di Shitian scanned the scene and frowned slightly. Only the Dragon Emperor, Blood Venerable Tian Yi, and 100 Desire which were left in the void. They were tightly bound by strong chains and couldn't move at all. They could only glare angrily at Di Shitian and Bewitching Heart. Shui Ini, Yu Joutian, and the devouring demon emperor had all used various methods to escape. This was also because of Shui Ini's sharp senses. He had noticed that something was wrong and escaped first. Otherwise, there would be 1 or 2 more demon emperors left behind this time. Bewitching Heart, are you really not afraid of the punishment of the demon god continent? You are playing with fire. The purple gold mainland can be easily destroyed by us demon gods. Do you think a mere shifter emperor can protect you? The dragon emperor's face was full of anger, and his eyes were about to spit it out. Demon emperor, I am willing to be your woman. I can do anything for you. As long as you let me go, 100 Desire which will definitely make you feel like you are in heaven. 100 Desire which kept throwing flirtatious glances at Di Shitian, letting out seductive moans. Since I've fallen into your hands, this reverend admits defeat. However, after the Oblivion Tide, you won't have it easy either. I'll wait for you in the cycle of reincarnation. Blood Empyrean Tiani coldly snorted, turning his head to the side, exuding an unyielding aura. Suppress. Sakura didn't pay any attention to their threats or temptations. He slowly spat out a sentence. Instantly, a crack appeared in the void and swept the 3 demon emperors into the underworld prison. TSK, I've struck the jackpot, and now I have 3 more devil emperors. Lunatic DI, just watch how I pry open their mouths and force them to reveal all their secrets. I want them to remember how many farts they let out in a day. Dark let out a strange cry of excitement. Run. Lady Bewitching has already betrayed us. It's over. Hurry up and leave. Many demon gods in the Demon Suppression Valley let out terrified roars. Seeing the unforeseen event, they were even more terrified. Who was Mai Xin? She was the strongest expert in the Demon Suppression Valley. Now that she had betrayed them, it was a huge blow to the demon gods. His heart was at a loss. Eyes. Sakura didn't even bother to take a look at them. He only opened his mouth and spat out 2 words. Immediately, an endless amount of ice energy emerged from the void. In an instant, it drifted along with the breeze and swept through the entire valley. All the heavenly demons were sealed in thick ice in an instant, turning into lifelike ice sculptures. Even the fear on their faces could be seen clearly. His Majesty is invincible. His Majesty is invincible. In the demon court, the fanatical look in the eyes of countless witnesses became even more intense as they roared loudly. They converged into a vast torrent. The moment Sakura appeared, it was as if there was a stabilizing needle in the hearts of all the demons. After eating the heart-stabilizing pill, there was no longer any fear. Cheers thundered through the clouds. However, when Di Shitian raised his hand, all the voices disappeared in an instant. Even the sound of breathing became abnormally slow. Pairs of burning eyes looked at him. I am very gratified. Di Shitian scanned the demon race and looked at the battlefield that was still filled with killing intent. He said in a deep voice, I built the demon court for the demon race to reproduce and not be destroyed. Indeed, the demon court is very powerful. It is a supreme divine artifact and is protected by 4 heavenly gates. It can be said to be an iron fortress. As long as one is inside, even if all the demon emperors attacked together, they would not be able to break through the heavenly gates and attack the demon court in a short time. It is the most powerful fortress. The demon race didn't make a sound. They all listened quietly, afraid that they would miss out on half a sentence. However, the most powerful fortress will often create a heart of luck and a heart of cowardice. It will wear away the blood in one's body and wear away one's will. Deep and impassioned words echoed throughout the entire island. Every word seemed to carry an inexplicable charm. I am very gratified that you did not lose your courage to fight any powerhouse in the world because of the strength of the demon court. You did not lose the innate blood of the demon race. As long as the blood of the demon race is not destroyed, the demon race will not be destroyed. The demon race will not be destroyed. The demon race will not be destroyed. The demon race could only feel the blood in their bodies boiling. They all let out fanatical cries. The reason why the demon race could dominate the world was because of their fearless courage. I built the demon court for the sake of the demon race's inheritance, not to seal away the blood of the demon race. Today, you will use the most direct battle to announce to the world that the demon race has returned. The more Di Shitian spoke, the more impassioned he became. At the end of his speech, it was as if he was roaring. Demon race! Demon race! Countless demon race members exuded a strong sense of pride. Their shouts were like the sea, and they directly swept through the entire world. Amidst those shouts, one could clearly feel that from today onwards, no one could stop the demon race. The demon race is finally going to rise. Xing Dingtian and the other powerhouses witnessed this scene. They could only feel their hearts trembling as they felt the inextinguishable spirit that overflowed from the demon court. Each of them had a kind of awareness in their hearts. After a long while, the cheers and shouts gradually subsided. Di Shitian looked at Mengshi and the other ministers in front of him. He said, all ministers, immediately head to the Lingxiao Palace for a meeting. Yes. The ministers replied with solemn expressions. They quickly headed to the Lingxiao Palace. Di Shitian turned to look at Xing Dingtian and the other powerhouses. He revealed a faint smile and said, this time, the demon race was able to hold on until now because of everyone's help. At this moment, the Purple Firmament auction is still ongoing. There are many good treasures inside. If you are willing, you can let your relatives come and take a look. If you are free, you can come to the demon court at any time. This emperor will welcome you with open arms. Xing Dingtian, Azura Shong, and the others were overjoyed. How could they not understand the meaning behind Di Shitian's words? It was obvious that he was saying, I, Di Shitian, am indebted to you for your help this time. I will remember it in my heart. You can send some of your elites into the demon court. Whether they are stationed there or cultivating, I will ensure their safety in the demon court. How could they not understand such a good thing? Go in and drink tea? What kind of joke was this? If they went in and drank tea now, what would they do if they were delayed? They had long heard that there were rumors among the demon race that the demon court was going to leave the purple gold continent soon. This might be a kind of supreme opportunity. No matter what, they had to send a batch of their youths to the demon court before this. Even if there were any accidents in the future, they would be able to preserve their race. Demon Emperor is too polite. Since His Majesty has kindly invited us, we shouldn't delay. We will go back and let the younger generation of our race come to the demon court to broaden their horizons. Xing Dingtian chuckled. In his expression, he had a respectful expression towards Di Shitian. The demon court will welcome you at any time. This emperor will stay here for a month. Di Shitian muttered to himself and nodded. Many thanks. When Xingdingtian and the others heard this, they all mysteriously disappeared from the void. Little sister Mai Xin greets big sister Chen Shi, big sister Tian Xiong, and big sister Katomi. Please take care of me in the future. If there is anything wrong, please advise me. At this moment, Mai Xin had already arrived in front of Chen Shi and the others with a smile. Her expression was very respectful as she began to greet them one by one. She had the attitude of a little wife entering the family. Please rise. When we enter the jade pool in the future, we will all be sisters. As long as we work together to help our husband achieve great things, it will be fine. In the future, little sister will live in the Pure Heart Palace. I will choose the best maids for you. When Chen Shi heard this, she rolled her eyes at Di Shitian and said with a faint smile. Many thanks, big sister. Mai Xin said with gratitude. When Di Shitian saw this, he couldn't help but shake his head slightly. He didn't care about the jade pool's matters. His figure swayed, and in the blink of an eye, he appeared in the Lingxiao Palace. He sat on the throne and looked down. In the main hall, Mengshi, Hu, Tian Kan, Huang Quan, Hu Luzi, Kai Hua, Dan Huang, and the other important ministers of the demon court were all standing respectfully in their respective positions. Greetings, Your Majesty. When they saw Di Shitian arrive, the group of demons greeted him respectfully. Rise. Di Shitian waved casually and said, How is the recruitment and the demon horde arena competition going? Reporting to Your Majesty. Old Fox was the first to step forward. Standing in the middle of the hall, he said, The monster horde arena tournament is already halfway through. As Your Majesty predicted, a large number of our monster race's elites and peerless geniuses have emerged. Although they are still being screened, once the competition is over, the 129,600 Dao worlds under our demon court will have enough people to take charge. At the recruitment, a large number of itinerant cultivators from all over the universe have also come to participate. There are many talents in there. Good. When Di Shitian heard this, he nodded in satisfaction and said, The arena competition and the recruitment cannot be stopped. Immediately, I will reverse the time in the entire demon court and adjust the flow of time. In the outside world, I want all the departments and institutions to be fully operational in a month. In a month, we will leave the purple gold continent. In a month. All the demon ministers could not help but be slightly stunned. Then, are we still going to enter the battle for the 3 lists and 1 chart? Mengshi asked after pondering for a moment. When the entire demon court is operational, all of you will follow the original plan and enter the heaven-toppling ancient painting. The slaughter inside is the best training for growth. If you die, you will have an additional understanding of life and death. I will revive you in the demon court. If you can last until the end, once it is over, crush the teleportation talisman given to you. Even if you are in the chaos, you will be able to return instantly. However, before the battle ends, you are not allowed to return to the demon court. Di Shitian's expression was filled with determination. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1133. Experience, experience, and more experience. The more superior the conditions were, the more one couldn't relax the requirements for oneself. Otherwise, blindly living in peace and happiness would only bring death and wear down one's will. Cultivation was obtained too easily, and it was often not worth cherishing. Indra had always valued the group of important ministers who had followed him in the past. This was the foundation of the demon court. For such existences, the battle of the 3 lists and 1 chart was the best environment for growth. Moreover, the teleportation talisman would not be activated before the heaven overturning battle was closed. It would only be effective after the battle ended. Yes, Your Majesty. We will definitely not embarrass the demon court. The group of demons agreed one after another. There was a solemn expression on their faces. They knew that this was also a test. Whether they could last until the end would have an extremely deep impact on their future achievements and status in the demon court. Inform all wandering cultivators that after the Purple Firmament auction, the Demon Court will officially seal the city. Those who wish to leave should leave as soon as possible. Those who do not wish to leave will not be able to return to the Purple Gold Continent for the next 100 years. However, those who stay in the Demon Court can enter the 129,600 spaces to explore and search for treasures. Open up the spaces in the 4 heavenly gates. If you find treasures in the heavenly gates forbidden area, you only need to hand over 50%. The rest will belong to you, Di Shitian said in a deep voice. As a half-step ruler, his every word seemed to carry the majesty of the heavens. Yes, your majesty. Who nodded solemnly. Although the High Heaven Demon Court had a vast void and a large amount of space, because of the space in the Heaven's Gate Forbidden Land, there were large amounts of treasures, riches, and even dangers and traps in the space that was fused into the High Heaven Demon Court. There were some that even matchless experts might be buried inside, trapped deep within. All this time, they had not opened up those spaces. Now, it was time to open them up. Whether it was for training or exploration, it was a way to increase one's strength. Sky Silkworm, Huang Quan, Gord Luzi, Xiesanyang, Bliss Boy, Treasure Boy, Shun Gongbao and the others did not need to go out. The rest began to prepare to go to the Skyfall battlefield. The Demon Court could supply the maximum amount of supplies. After you guys descend, you can go to the Royal Heavenly Treasury to collect your items. Medicinal pills, spirit wine, divine weapons, treasures, and cultivation arts, this Empyrean will open them all to the maximum. I hope you can hand in a satisfactory answer sheet. As Sakura spoke, his eyes swept across the ministers in the main hall one by one. From his words, it was enough to see the importance he attached to them. Thank you, Your Majesty. Hu and the others were touched and bowed respectfully. All right. All of you can go and prepare now. Di Shitian waved his hand, indicating that the meeting was dismissed. After the court meeting was dismissed, a heavenly pillar of the great Tao rose into the sky and flashed past. The time in the Demon Court passed by at an astonishing speed. The time difference was 100 times that of the outside world. This kind of deficit wasn't just limited to the Purple Firmament auction, but covered the entire Demon Court. In this way, the consumption of the Yuan Qi of heaven and earth had reached an astonishing level. Now, as the Grand Emperor's Jade Archive was completed, the speed and quantity of chaotic Qi that it absorbed had reached a terrifying level. However, under such a large-scale reversal of time, the chaotic Qi that it absorbed at every moment was only enough to maintain the operations of the Demon Court. It was unable to do anything else. If one were to calculate the amount of primordial chaos Qi that was absorbed by the Extreme Emperor Jade Archive in terms of primordial chaos Qi. With every rotation, the chaos Qi absorbed was a primordial chaos. And this primordial chaos 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 primordial chaos. The reversal of time in the Demon Court naturally made all the cultivators vaguely aware that the auctions, arena battles, and recruitment meetings were being carried out at a significantly faster pace. There were new developments every day. In the core space of the Demon Court, Di Shitian's figure appeared out of thin air outside the Imperial Jade Archive. Looking at the Tao Lotus in the void, which was either illusory or solid, and feeling the rich Yuan Qi of heaven and earth that permeated the void, he felt extremely carefree. The Imperial Jade Archive spun at a constant speed, wantonly absorbing chaotic Qi from the chaos. Under the Jade Archive, there were countless chaotic Qi pills with countless mysterious Tao patterns that were piled up like a small mountain. At a glance, it was unknown how many there were. Such chaotic Qi pills were quite beneficial for cultivation. One could comprehend a trace of the Tao runes of the great Tao inside. Every once in a while, the Blood Killer Guards would enter and take away the accumulated chaotic Qi pills and send them to the Imperial Treasury. A portion of them were sold to the outside world. One chaotic Qi pill cost 1 Lingxiao coin. It was obvious that the purchasing power of Lingxiao coins was quite strong. Above the Jade Archive, countless chains of law bound the huge Blood Lotus. The original blood sea had been completely devoured. At this moment, it was constantly devouring and refining the blood lotus. However, the blood lotus was extremely strange and tyrannical. It was always closed, protecting the demon emperor crippled blood inside. This blood lotus is a top-tier innate spiritual treasure. No wonder it can resist the devouring and refining of the Imperial Jade Archive. However, today, it will be completely integrated into the demon court and become a part of it. It will lay the foundation for the demon court to become immortal. Break for me. Di Tian looked at the blood lotus that was like a blood-colored crystal and slowly said. As soon as his voice fell, the divine pattern between his eyebrows instantly opened to both sides, and the divine eye of punishment appeared instantly. As soon as it appeared, the divine eye transmitted an immortal and ancient aura. It was even a supreme pressure. The expression in its eyes was still incomparably cold, indifferent to the common people. It exuded a kind of supreme charm. Ding ding ding. As soon as the divine eye appeared, the blood lotus seemed to feel that it was facing an invincible existence. A kind of pressure made it tremble violently for the first time. It let out a series of mournful cries, feeling the aura of death. The divine eye of punishment, which had 5 innate divine seals, was comparable to an inferior innate true treasure. It instinctively suppressed the blood lotus. Demon Emperor, you are so vicious. You want to kill me? Feeling the changes in the blood lotus, the demon emperor crippled blood felt his entire soul tremble violently. He screamed in a shrill voice, "Let me go. As long as you let me go, I am willing to submit to you and be your slave. I am willing to be your woman. Let me go, I am willing to submit to the demon race." Traces of fear flashed in the demon emperor crippled blood's eyes. When there was no threat to her life, she dared to be tough because she guessed that the experts hiding in the purple gold mainland would definitely come to rescue her. The blood lotus could protect her from being refined. However, now that even the blood lotus was no longer safe, she could already smell the aura of death. She quickly begged for mercy. Divine eye of punishment, annihilation. Di Tian did not care about what she said, and even less about her begging for mercy. How could a demon god's words be easily believed? A fallen demon god was a good demon god. Whoosh! Every imperial indestructible talisman around him vibrated continuously, spewing out vast amounts of imperial indestructible true force into the divine eye of punishment. A beam of purple gold annihilation divine light shot out from the divine eye of punishment. The divine light was filled with a domineering will that could annihilate heaven and earth, and destroy everything in front of it. Unstoppable. It bombarded the blood lotus. Rumble. Catcher. The blood lotus was already suppressed by the Imperial Jade Archive and could not move. It was directly bombarded by the divine light of annihilation. The blood lotus trembled violently, emitting waves of mournful cries. It only lasted for a few breaths of time before it could no longer withstand the terrifying power that could crush everything. Sinister cracks continuously appeared and quickly spread across the entire blood lotus. Even the demon emperor crippled blood, who had injected his own energy into the blood lotus, could not stop the cracks. In the blink of an eye, the entire blood lotus was covered. Half-step sovereign, innate true treasure. The demon emperor crippled blood screamed in despair. Bang! The blood lotus shattered with a terrifying boom, turning into countless tiny fragments that shot out in all directions. However, they were immediately swallowed back by the Imperial Jade Archive. Under the burning of the chaotic divine flame, the fragments turned into blood-red threads that quickly disappeared into the void and drilled into every inch of the city. Rumble. In the ancient city, countless mysterious Tao runes intertwined, faintly forming Tao seals of blood lotuses. In the divine crystals of the city, there were also 9th-grade blood lotuses that seemed real, exuding an ancient aura that perfectly merged with the ancient city. The demon court shook violently, and countless high-grade divine crystals transformed into supreme-grade divine crystals on the spot. In the ancient city, there were faint traces of immortal and indestructible aura circulating. However, it did not leak out at all. A top-grade innate spirit treasure had been shattered and integrated into the demon court, making it even more powerful on the spot. In addition, The thousands of great Taos were becoming more and more complete. The demon court's grade had reached the pinnacle of supreme divine artifact. It was faintly showing signs of breaking into the immortal artifact level. Yarrow Emperor, I curse you. I curse you to fall. You will die at the hands of my clan's demon lord. I will wait for you in the cycle of reincarnation. I curse your clan to be completely annihilated. You will not have a good death. Even if I die, I will not let you have it easy. Ah! The demon emperor Crippled Blood saw the blood lotus shatter and immediately fell into despair. He let out shrill curses, his eyes filled with madness, and his entire body shook violently. With a boom, he self-detonated. Imperial Jade Archive, devour demon gods, seize great Taos, plunder power, strengthen the demon court. How powerful was the ultimate Imperial Jade Archive? After obtaining 1,000 great Taos, it had already produced an unimaginable power. The power generated from the self-destruction was instantly sucked into the Jade Archive. It could even devour the Chaos Chi, so why would it be afraid of the violent power generated from the self-destruction? The great Taos were plundered and poured into the talismans. The Destruction Great Tao, the Destruction Great Tao, and the Blood Great Tao. The demonic Great Tao obtained various Great Tao insights. Immediately, the Taos in these Great Taos became more and more intense. Especially the Blood Great Tao. In the talisman, it was instantly perfected, reaching the level of the Blood Great Tao in the Purple Gold Continent. Countless blood seas appeared in it, and a blood-colored Great Tao pillar appeared, enveloping the entire blood talisman. It became the first Great Tao that was truly perfected. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1134. Those with tickets, please help me up. The talisman condenses into a heavenly pillar, a symbol of a perfected Great Tao. Good. Fiend Emperor Crippled Blood, you died a worthy death. Indeed, a dead Fiend Celestial is a good Fiend Celestial. Di Shitian observed the changes in the Extremity Emperor Jade Archive as he nodded inwardly and muttered to himself. As for the Extremity Emperor Jade Archive, it instantly underwent an astonishing transformation. Not only did the intertwining Tao patterns on the Jade Archive become filled with spirituality, even the Jade Archive's rotation speed instantly doubled. Previously, it could absorb the chaos gases of one primordial chaos with every rotation, but now, it could absorb the chaos gases of two primordial chaos. It made it easier to support the reversal of time. Rumble. The energy contained within Fiend Emperor Crippled Blood's body was instantly injected into the entire demon court. The 129,600 spaces immediately surged with vast amounts of energy. Together with the Extremity Emperor Jade Archive's transformation, the spaces began to expand at an astonishing speed. In a blink of an eye, every space had doubled in size. They became even more stable and resilient. Vaguely, life began to be born. It caused the demon court to emit an even richer aura of immortality. Once again, large amounts of superior-grade divine crystals transformed into supreme-grade divine crystals. As the sky grew higher, the size of the ancient city also increased. It grew once again. Sovereign of the Eventide, Di Shitian did not show any signs of stopping after killing Fiend Emperor Crippled Blood. With a wave of his hand, a rift appeared in the void. Immediately, a pitch-black and thin figure fell out of thin air and landed in the Extremity Emperor Jade Archive. The figure was extremely vigilant. The moment it appeared in the void, it immediately concealed itself. Ding, 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 ding. However, in just an instant, countless iron chains emerged from the Jade Archive and sealed off the void. In an instant, the figure was firmly bound and suppressed. Fiend Emperor Crippled Blood's aura. Fey Emperor, you will suffer misfortune sooner or later. My race's ancestor, Stabbing God, will settle the score with you sooner or later. The Sovereign of the Eventide was bound by chains and locked in the Jade Archive. His pitch-black eyes stared intently at Di Shitian's face as he coldly spat out a sentence. Since ancient times, he had been imprisoned in the inner world. It was completely sealed. Now that he had come out, he could already smell the scent of death. Impatient. When Di Shitian heard this, he calmly spat out a sentence. He extended his finger and pressed it towards the sovereign of the Eventide. Immediately, the already injured sovereign of the Eventide exploded from the poke of the finger. The immense power that belonged to the Fiend Emperor was rapidly injected into the Jade Archive. Immediately, in the Jade Archive, a talisman of night quickly condensed and completed. The talisman of demon also condensed a pitch-black pillar of the Great Path with a boom. Countless figures of demon gods flashed within, and a darkness talisman was instantly completed, condensing into a pillar of pure darkness. Whoosh! The demon court was strangely shrouded in darkness. It entered the night, but in the blink of an eye, it quickly retreated and returned to the day. Day and night began to change in the demon court. At the same time, there were countless mysterious darkness Dao patterns that constantly intertwined. With the sovereign of the Eventide's full strength infusing into it, the demon court transformed once again, becoming even more massive. The space in the demon court expanded once again, and this expansion was multiplied. Good. 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 Not only have 3 great Dao been completed, they have also been perfected. Now, the chaos chi absorbed from the Empyrean Supremacy Jade Archive has reached the level of 4 primordial chaos per revolution. My strength has increased greatly. My strength has increased greatly. I am now only a step away from an immortal artifact. Ming laughed out loud in excitement. Every transformation of the demon court was an increase in its heritage. It was extremely beneficial for Di Shitian. Furthermore, the cultivation techniques that the sovereign of the Eventide cultivated in had been completely absorbed by the Jade Archive. A top fiend technique had once again landed in the Fey race's heritage. When the absorption speed reached the level where it could absorb the chaos chi of 4 origin primordial masters per revolution, it could be seen that the vast chaos chi could not only be refined into various kinds of primordial chi, but also a large amount of primordial chi precipitated and condensed, turning into pure primordial chaos pills that fell on the Jade Archive and accumulated continuously. And the successive transformations of the demon court left all the Fey race and countless cultivators appalled. The changes were just too drastic. Holy *T, the demon court has expanded again. It has probably expanded to twice its original size. Just the ancient city of the demon court alone can accommodate hundreds of billions of Fey and cultivators. The streets and buildings here, even the distance between them has widened. It's simply unbelievable. I can sense that the surrounding space has become more stable. Also, the Great Dao seems to be more rich. Good, my cultivation speed will definitely increase in the future. A Feather Arch is indeed a Feather Arch. I wonder when the demon court will evolve into an immortal artifact. If that happens, it will truly be an incredulous matter. It might even be the first immortal artifact in the world. The discussions of the cultivators continued to spread throughout the ancient city. Many individual cultivators already knew that the Lingxiao demon court was about to leave the Zijin continent. However, there were not many who planned to leave. Cultivating here was like a holy land for cultivation. It was far from being comparable to other places. The resources here were incomparably abundant. Interesting. I never expected the demon court to show signs of evolving to the immortal level. The Feather Arch does indeed have immeasurable luck. I've taken the right step. In the pure heart palace of the Jade Pool, Mai Xin lay on her side and looked at the void. A strange expression flashed across her face as she muttered to herself. The changes of the demon court were naturally something worth celebrating for the entire Fey race. The more powerful it was, the more clan members it could accommodate, and the more indestructible the land of inheritance would be. After the transformation of the demon court, a series of events continued to happen. First, the Fey Horde arena battle and the recruitment ended. The 2 competitions directly selected a large number of elite talents for the Fey race. In the Fey Horde arena battle, 10,000 ancient heavenly Fey were selected. Some of these heavenly Fey were previously scattered in the myriad worlds before returning. Some of them had broken through the heavenly ladder and various secret realms after returning. The number could be said to be considerable. There were 100,000 ancient Fey Saint Pinnacle Fey race and 200,000 ancient Fey Saint Late elites. Moreover, each of them was an elite selected from countless Fey race. Their combat strength could be said to be top-notch. After Di Shitian found out about these selected elites, he immediately let them enter the 129,600 spaces to serve as realm lords and build spaces and even worlds. They even entered the army and served as generals. In an instant, the framework of the various armies was quickly built. The armies that had not been formed before were constantly being filled up. At the recruitment meeting, a large number of intelligent talents who had a unique understanding of the overall situation were also selected. These intelligent talents were not differentiated between the Fey race and the cultivators of the other races. There were no selection conditions, and the intelligent talents selected were even more outstanding. A total of 30,000 passed the final selection. 1 million passed the first 2 rounds of selection. 1,300,000 passed the first round of selection. After Di Shitian gave the order, the first 30,000 were quickly added to the 6 divisions. They became the backbone of the 6 divisions, allowing the 6 divisions to operate quickly. In the past, although the demon court was divided into 6 divisions, they lacked manpower and did not operate quickly. Now that they had these officials, the efficiency of the 6 divisions increased on the spot. All the fields were managed in an orderly manner. The Purple Firmament auction had obtained a huge amount of wealth. The transaction volume had reached an unbelievable level. The boy of many treasures was happy every day. His eyes were shining with the light of money. After that, the Star race, the Skeleton race, and the Azura race all sent a large number of their young descendants to the Demon Court. They also bought land deeds in the Demon Court, built shops, restaurants, and even arenas, inns, residences, and so on. They brought a large number of unique and special items, causing the Demon Court to become even more prosperous. The strangest thing was that after the various parts of the Demon Court were activated, most of the important ministers in the past left the Demon Court and entered the heaven-toppling battlefield. A large number of demon race elites poured into the various battlefields. The demon race had completely intervened in the battle for the 3 lists and 1 chart. This intervention completely pushed the battle in the heaven-toppling ancient painting to a white-hot state. Countless tragic killings continued to appear. The battle became even more tragic. The sudden participation of the demon race immediately attracted the attention of countless people. In the heaven realm, in the void, there was a mysterious palace hidden and not revealed. In the palace, there were dozens of great divine abilities whose faces could not be seen clearly sitting upright. Each of them had a throne under them. It could be seen that the pressure emitted by these great divine abilities could be said to be the top existences in the world. Each of them was not inferior to the great emperor of longevity back then. They were all peerless experts. Dozens of them. Upon closer inspection, there were probably no less than 60 of them. The number was so large that it could make one's heart jump out of their chest. If this scene was seen by anyone, they would probably jump up in shock on the spot. Unfortunately, each of their faces seemed to be covered by a mysterious power, making it impossible for people to see their faces clearly, and there was no way to know who they were. It was extremely mysterious. However, there were a few thrones at the front of the hall that were clearly empty, but no one dared to pass them. They seemed to emit a strange majesty. Moreover, there were many empty seats among the great divine abilities in the hall. Clearly, the main characters had not arrived. This is a routine gathering held once every 1,000 years to discuss the development direction of the human race. I suggest that this time, the demon race and the upcoming immeasurable calamity will be the focus. A rough voice sounded in the hall. The one who spoke was a burly man who was closer to the front. Ever since the demon emperor Di Shitian appeared, the demon race has risen from the decline. With the demon emperor's actions of killing the great emperor of longevity with great fanfare, I believe that the demon race is already a huge threat to our human race. After all, the enmity between our race and the demon race in ancient times is higher than the mountains and deeper than the sea. We can't expect the demon race to give up on the enmity. A woman in a palace dress said coldly. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1135. Naturally, the enmity between the Yarrow race and our race can never be completely erased. If it weren't for the 3 undying Yarrow race primogenitors, the dozen Yarrow gods, and the 3 sovereigns suddenly issuing orders, we would have wiped out the Yarrow race from the roots long ago. I've long said that if the Yarrow race isn't completely wiped out, they'll become a huge problem sooner or later. Sure enough, it is as I expected. A man in an emperor's robe said with unusual steely determination. He did not hide his murderous intent. His seat was closer to the front of the hall. It's too late to say all this now. Although the ruler's orders have been revoked, the monster race has now become a force to be reckoned with. The monster race experts who were scattered in the ancient times are now returning to the monster court. It will not be so easy for us to target the monster race again. Once we start a war with them, it will be like a thunderbolt. Our Pantheon plan has reached the most critical juncture. I'm afraid it's not very appropriate to complicate matters at this time. A very young great medium said with some hesitation. The 3 sovereigns of heaven, earth, and human are about to return. When that time comes, our Pantheon's strength will increase again. However, in my opinion, even if we can't start a war with the demon court now, we still need to teach them a lesson. Otherwise, the monster emperor will not know who is the ruler of the world today. A middle-aged man said calmly. But there was a trace of coldness in his voice. According to reliable sources, the monster emperor will definitely leave the purple gold continent in the near future. It seems that he plans to enter the chaos. He is afraid of the coming tides of annihilation and even the immeasurable calamity. These monsters have already worn away their courage. If they want to leave, it will not be so easy for them. Otherwise, they will really think that we humans are afraid of them. Another old man agreed with him. Good. Starry Hall will use the universal star diagram to activate the universal star formation. Our Pantheon temple will send 9 almighty experts to guard the formation and fully display the power of this supreme artifact. We will draw in the ancient stars and bury the Ling Xiao demon court. We will let the all heavens know that we, the human race, will not allow anyone to ride on our heads. A woman in front said with a trace of viciousness, I am willing to be the first to go. Agreed. We cannot let the shifter emperor leave so easily. Agreed. Seconded. In just a few words, a plan against the demon clan had been decided. There were almost no surprises about this proposal. It was unanimously approved and approved. It was decided on the spot. The tide of annihilation is about to arrive. When that time comes, the demon god continent and our purple gold continent will clash once again. We all know how powerful the demon god clan was in ancient times. There were a total of 9 demon ancestors that could rival sovereigns. Although one of them has already been defeated, no one can guarantee that no new demon ancestor has been promoted in the demon god continent for the past 129,000 years. In the future, we humans will bear the brunt of it. The man at the front, who was emitting the aura of an emperor, said in a deep voice. In his words, there was no lack of a dignified expression. Moreover, we also need to guard against the 100 races of the universe. If we suffer a betrayal like the ancient demon race, it will be a devastating blow to the development of the human race. A sexy woman with a floral fragrance wafting from her body said softly, It doesn't matter. As long as our plan succeeds, a mere demon god is nothing. Even the demon ancestor will have to give way. Not only the purple gold continent, even the demon god continent will have to respect us, the human race. Even the eternal heaven realm will have a place for us. A man who was brimming with killing intent and had a strong deterrent force said coldly and arrogantly, We can't be careless. In the purple gold continent and the myriad worlds, our Pantheon palace can't control everything. In the past 100,000 years, the strength of the various races has changed greatly. Moreover, in this world, there are a few mysterious existences that we have to be wary of. The zombie clan has an existence that we can't fathom. In the Tower of Babel, there are also a few terrifying existences among the savage beast clan. Also, the 9 crystal heavenly coffins have appeared one after another. In the demon clan, it is said that there are not only 3 primogenitors, but 4. Moreover, the leader of the primogenitors is an ancient antique that has existed since ancient times. No one knows where he has been hiding, cultivating in seclusion to break through to the sovereign Tao. Presumably, he has a 60% chance of becoming a sovereign lord. There are many other existences that we can't casually come into contact with. In the hall, in addition to the empty seat, the person sitting at the top not only had his face blurry, but even his entire body appeared abnormally hazy as he spoke with fervor and assurance. Once we find that divine item, our Pantheon Palace won't even fear a sovereign lord. We'll just kill him. Soon, we've already found some clues. Once we get them, the time for our human race to soar will truly come, a mighty figure said with some indignation. Very well. Now, let's take out the divine items and spirit materials we've found in the primal chaos. The almighty experts in the Pantheon Palace unhesitatingly took out one precious treasure after another and gathered them together. In the blink of an eye, the light of countless treasures flickered and filled every inch of space in the hall. Every single one of these treasures, if taken out to the public, would cause even the strongest of the world to covet them and fight for them. There were even fewer people who could see such a large number of people gathered in the main hall. In Devil Suppression Valley, a huge whirlpool appeared below the Ling Xiao Demon Court. The whirlpool was like a vast black hole. It kept spinning and emitted a huge suction force. It kept swallowing the entire Demon Suppression Valley into the Demon Court. However, the Demon Court didn't try to assimilate it into the ancient city. Instead, they tried to pull it in and fuse it with the Demon Court. That said, the Devil Suppression Valley was an inconceivable place. It was formed from primal chaos fragments, and then refined and blessed by the Sovereign Lord. It was a battlefield, and was tempered by boundless spatial power, which made it possible for it to devour everything in its path. Meanwhile, in the 9th floor of the dazzling pagoda, an enormous battleship hovered in midair. The battleship was stacked on top of one another. There were a total of 9 layers, and each layer was enveloped by a divine ring. Divine cannons filled with murderous intent extended out from the battleship. Each cannon was like a terrifying beast. They were incredibly ferocious. However, in the center of the battleship was a terrifying wound. From the outside, one could see the core of the battleship. Inside, there was a strange round sphere. It was densely intertwined with countless mysterious Tao patterns. It looked extremely profound. If an ordinary cultivator were to look at it, their entire soul would explode on the spot. One could clearly see that the surface of the sphere was densely covered with countless hideous and terrifying cracks. The cracks covered the entire sphere. It was like a broken ceramic. It felt like it would collapse at any moment. Although the battleship looked ferocious, it was like a sleeping beast. It didn't have any spirituality. No, perhaps it should be said that this spirituality was constantly dissipating. Whoosh! 3 divine lights flashed. Tian Kan, Huang Quan, and Duo Bao appeared in front of Di Shitian. There was a look of regret on their faces. As if they were looking at the battleship, they respectfully said to Di Shitian, "Your Majesty, we have carefully investigated the situation of this battleship. Can this battleship be repaired? If it can be repaired, how confident are you?" Di Shitian took a deep breath and looked at the battleship in front of him, which was not inferior to the demon court in terms of aura, and asked in a deep voice. "Your Majesty." Duo Bao Boy replied with regret, "This battleship is called Iron Blood Battleship. In its heyday, it should be a peak supreme level divine artifact. There are a lot of spatial faults in it, but there is no life in it. There are 129,600 Iron Blood divine cannons, and the attack of each divine cannon is equivalent to a peerless level attack. It is extremely terrifying. The source of vitality inside is called the Heavenly Cycle Apparatus, and it is extremely mysterious. However, when this Iron Blood battleship was fighting with the enemy, it was hit by the Heavenly Cycle Apparatus, the source of vitality. It caused the Heavenly Cycle Apparatus to suffer a destructive blow. When he said this, he couldn't help but reveal a trace of fear and emotion. To be able to damage the source of vitality of a supreme-level divine artifact, such an attack was simply incredible. That's right. The most important part is the heavenly cycle instrument. This source of pneuma has been completely connected to the entire battleship. When the heavenly cycle instrument was damaged, the entire iron-blooded battle sword suffered irreversible damage. With our ability, it's impossible to repair it. The formations, restrictions, and laws contained in it are extremely profound. Huang Quan also took a deep breath and sighed. Such a supreme-level divine artifact was placed in front of them, but they couldn't repair it. That feeling was indeed difficult to describe, and there was no lack of frustration. Have you explored the refining method and materials of the Iron Blood Divine Cannon? Di Shitian was quite prepared for the fact that this battleship couldn't be repaired, so he wasn't too surprised. He directly asked about the most important thing. Your Majesty, don't worry. We already know the refining method of the Iron Blood Divine Cannon. In the future, we will be able to record the refining method, the formations, and the Dao patterns inside, and store them in the Scripture Pavilion and the Imperial Jade Archive. With our ability, it is enough to refine it. There's no problem in using divine crystals as the material. Tian Can became completely excited when he mentioned this. His eyes lit up as he shouted. Furthermore, we have discovered that the remaining Great Dao in the Iron Blood battleship has not completely dissipated. If our Demon Court can refine it, we can immediately improve the 3,000 Great Dao in the Demon Court. In fact, it might even push the Demon Court to the pinnacle of supreme artifacts and take half a step into the immortal realm. Treasure Boy also said excitedly. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chijian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1136. Those with tickets, please help me. This Iron Blood battleship was obtained from the Tomb of the Gods. It was not a supreme artifact from the Zijin continent. Obviously, it could only be a divine artifact passed down from the ancient celestial world. Given the level of the ancient celestial world, when refining a supreme artifact, they would not give up the potential of a divine artifact for the sake of pursuing extreme battle prowess. It would not be biased towards any one or two great paths. Instead, it would be like the Demon Court, accepting all kinds of great paths. Perhaps it would not accept many, but there would be a huge possibility. Even if it was a broken supreme artifact, it was still a supreme artifact. The materials used to refine it, and even the great paths contained in it, were all inestimable wealth. If it could be repaired, it would be another supreme artifact for the Demon Clan. Di Shitian would naturally be happy. Even if it was confirmed that it could not be repaired, it would not be a big problem. As long as it was integrated into the Demon Court, it could also greatly increase its strength. Strengthen the Demon Court. In that case, this Iron Blood battleship will be completely integrated into the Demon Court. Di Shitian raised his eyebrows slightly. Without any hesitation, he made up his mind on the spot. He was now desperately trying to improve the grade and strength of the entire Demon Court. No matter how great the price was, he had to upgrade the Demon Court. With a wave of his hand, the huge Iron Blood battleship and duobao disappeared from the exquisite pagoda. This is the core space of the Demon Court. There are so many Dao Lotuses. Each Dao Lotus contains an independent Great Path world. If you cultivate in it, your strength will continue to increase. Your comprehension of the Great Path will reach an astonishing speed. This is where the entire Demon Court is supported. This is the legendary Ultimate Emperor Jade Archive, the most precious treasure of the Demon Clan. It is the core place to receive the inheritance. Duo Bao, Tian Can, and Huang Quan felt like they were transported to another place by an irresistible force. When they took a closer look, their expressions began to change on the spot. They all subconsciously opened their mouths and let out cries of surprise. There was also a kind of surprise and excitement in them. He was becoming more and more loyal to Di Shitian. To be able to bring them into such a core space was an act of supreme trust. The Ultimate Emperor Jade Archive refines the Iron Blood, absorbs the Great Dao, refines the essence, and seizes the divine marrow. Integrate into the Demon Court. Di Shutian's black imperial robe fluttered even though there was no wind, exuding boundless majesty. With a wave of his hand, the dilapidated Ironblood warship appeared above the Jade Archive. Whoosh! A blazing chaotic divine flame appeared in an instant, emitting a huge amount of heat. It began to engulf the entire battleship. With the chaotic divine flame's ability to burn everything and the battleship's lack of resistance, the battleship began to melt at a speed visible to the naked eye. Rumble. All of a sudden, the universal celestial apparatus, which was the source of vital chi, with a dim divine light, rushed out of the battleship and directly into the divine flame. It melted at an incredible speed. Countless runes flashed on it, and the dim talismans of the great Tao seemed to have come to life. It quickly rushed out of the heavenly cosmic apparatus. Without the slightest hesitation, it burrowed into the ultimate Emperor Jade Archive. First were the most basic talismans of the 5 elements. Complete talismans of the 5 elements burrowed into the Jade Archive, then rushed toward the identical talismans on the Jade Archive. As soon as they collided, they began to fuse with incredible ease. Ding! Ding! Beautiful heavenly sounds came from the Jade Archive. As soon as the similar talismans were combined, they immediately condensed into pillars of the great Tao outside the talismans. Inside, a large number of profound cultivation methods, supernatural powers, spells, and so on that weren't originally recorded in the Jade Archive flashed. In the blink of an eye, the great circle of the great Tao was reached. At the same time, the universal celestial apparatus began to shatter, transforming into numerous talismans. Although the light of the talismans was dim, they were complete. Each talisman was a great Tao, and there were a total of 1,200 of them. At the same time, there were hundreds of incomplete talismans. Without the slightest hesitation, they seemed to be attracted to the ultimate Emperor Jade Archive, as if there was a magnetic attraction between them. Without the slightest bit of resistance, they burrowed into the Jade Archive. The Tao can be spoken of, the extraordinary Tao. The name can be named, the extraordinary name. The name can be named. In the blink of an eye, the mysterious heavenly sounds of the great Tao began to echo out from within the Jade Archive. When the heavenly sounds came together, they created a mysterious proverb of the great Tao, which began to reverberate rapidly through the Jade Archive. Every word and sentence seemed to describe the truth of the heavenly Tao. It contained inconceivable power. That's when Celestial Can, Huang Quan, and Duobao heard the proverb of the great Tao, they felt like they had been enlightened. All of a sudden, all of the questions that had been buried deep in their hearts became clear. All of the bottlenecks that had been holding them back were as easily pierced as if they were made of paper. Their enlightenment of the great Tao began to soar madly. Without the slightest hesitation, the 3 of them closed their eyes and began to absorb the quintessence of the great Tao. Their cultivation levels continued to rise. They were already at the peak of the ancient heaven demon level, but now, they were able to see the moon. At the same time, they began to gain enlightenment of their own great Tao. Good. 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 I didn't bring you here in vain. You didn't disappoint me. Now, it's time for me to lend you a hand. Di Shitian waved his hand, and the ultimate Emperor Jade Archive spat out a stream of pure pre-heaven vital energy that swept over the 3 of them like a tidal wave. Boundless energy crazily drilled into their bodies. At this moment, they were like dry sponges, endlessly swallowing large amounts of Xiantian Yuan Qi. TSK, TSK. Good. 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 These 3 fellows have been blessed with good fortune. Given their aptitude, they didn't have a chance to break through in the ancient era. But now that they're following you, they've been blessed with incredible fortune. That's good fortune. That said, it's a good thing. The demon court will rise in power. Hell clicked his tongue and sighed. We've made a killing this time. There are actually 1,000 perfected great Tao in this Ironblood battleship. Hundreds of incomplete great Tao have been integrated into it. Although some of the great Tao overlap with each other, it can push the great Tao in the Jade Archive to the great perfection stage. The benefits are even greater. New great Tao have been integrated into it, and the overlapping ones are removed. In my opinion, the number of perfected Great Tao in the Jade Archive can reach at least 1,500, completely meeting the requirements to advance to the immortal level. Ding ding ding. All the talismans fused into the Jade Archive without any resistance. As expected, the original ones all became great perfection. Those that weren't were immediately repaired. Those that were incomplete also instantly became more complete. Even more profound Tao patterns interweaved on the surface of the Jade Archive. Pillars of Great Tao condensed in the Jade Archive. There were as many as 500 overlapping pillars. Therefore, there were 500 pillars of great perfection Great Tao condensed into pillars. In addition to the original 3 pillars of great perfection, there were a total of 503 pillars. With each additional sky pillar, the amount of primordial chi absorbed by the Jade Archive increased. Now, with each rotation, it could absorb a total of 504 primordial chaos chis. It was really like an ocean. There were even 500 Tao lotuses that were quickly born from the illusion and condensed into substance. They kept drifting in this core space. They opened up a unique world. Rumble. The iron blood warship began to melt. Countless mysterious and precious materials turned into strands of mysterious threads under the divine flame. They quickly disappeared into the void and drilled into every inch of the city. In the blink of an eye, countless high-grade divine crystals transformed into supreme-grade divine crystals at an astonishing speed. The immortal aura emitted became denser and denser. Moreover, this transformation continued as the iron blood warship continued to fuse with the ancient city. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The demon court, which had just expanded not long ago, expanded again at an astonishing speed. The low-grade divine crystals that were used to build shops and palaces all merged into the city out of thin air. Moreover, as soon as they merged, they began to rapidly evolve from low-grade divine crystals. Middle-grade, high-grade, and even supreme-grade divine crystals. The sky became higher and higher, and one's field of vision became wider. At a glance, one couldn't see the end. It was faintly expanding to the size of the purple-gold continent. In the void, a sun and a moon appeared, and the cycle of day and night began. New great paths condensed into illusory heavenly pillars in the void, and then disappeared, but it made the whole world more stable and tenacious. The space was extremely strong, and even if peerless cultivators fought inside, they would not be able to destroy the space. Supreme-grade divine crystals were hard to break even for peerless experts. Kill. 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 The tall lightning-gathering towers that stood all over the demon court vibrated continuously. Countless lightning bolts flashed on them. In the lightning-gathering towers, ferocious cannons emitting ferocious auras suddenly condensed. Countless mysterious scenes of killing interweaved, and waves of monstrous killing sounds emitted from them. Every lightning-gathering tower emitted a terrifying murderous aura. It was abnormally ferocious and terrifying. It made one feel as if one's heart and soul would be scared out of their wits with just a glance. Endless Daoist rhymes instantly filled the entire demon court. These changes caused countless discussions to break out. Heavens, how powerful is the demon race's foundation? A while ago, the demon court had just transformed and reached a new height. I didn't expect it to start again. Moreover, this time, it's even bigger than the last time. It's a supreme divine artifact. It's said that every time a supreme divine artifact takes a step forward, it needs a huge amount of wealth, countless treasures, and even a large amount of time to have the possibility of transforming. This demon court is transforming time and time again like drinking water. It's really terrifying. Those are lightning-gathering towers. Such terrifying cannons actually appeared on those towers. My goodness, I feel fear just by looking at those cannons. I wonder how powerful they are. Powerful, too powerful. The demon race's strength is increasing with every passing moment. The growth of the demon court had completely subverted the understanding of countless cultivators. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1137. In particular, The divine cannons formed on the lightning-gathering towers made the ancient giants feel a sense of dread, as if they could smell death. The cannons and lightning-gathering towers fused together perfectly. The combination of savagery and perfection presented a violent aesthetic. The lightning-gathering towers continued to strengthen. Each of the battle towers was upgraded. All of them had become top-grade divine crystals. They could store, absorb, and release all kinds of lightning energy. They became stronger, faster, and more direct. They were filled with destructive power. Moreover, these cannons didn't have a single barrel, but 3 barrels connected together. They could fire one after another in a series of domineering attacks that would never stop. There was no break in the bombardment. The cannons were at the very top of the towers. They could rotate 360 degrees without any blind spots. Whether it was outside, inside, or high up in the sky, they could instantly cover the target under the muzzle of the cannons. Lethal weapon. This was a peerless lethal weapon, a weapon of mass destruction. There were a total of 129,600 of these Ironblood divine cannons, and they were fused into the various lightning-gathering towers. However, compared to the 296 billion lightning-gathering towers in the Demon Court, this was only a small portion of them being modified. They had been transformed. The rest still required the Ministry of Works to mobilize resources, refiners, formation masters, restriction masters, and so on to continuously forge them. This was an extremely long project. However, once all of the 296 billion lightning-gathering towers were transformed into lightning-gathering cannons, the entire Demon Court would become a terrifying hedgehog that would make even the sovereign's scalps go numb. That situation was too ferocious. Rumble. While the Demon Court was transforming, the countless spatial faults that originally belonged to the Ironblood battleships were fusing with all of the dimensions in the Demon Court. As a result, many mysterious ruins and regions appeared in the large number of dimensions in the Demon Court, and many demons and itinerant cultivators of the heavens had more places to explore. Later, after the dimensions were opened up, countless cultivators did indeed explore those ruins and dangerous places, and they obtained inconceivable fortuitous encounters. Of course, this was a story for later. The 129,600 dimensions that fused with the Ironblood battleships continued to expand, and at the same time, they were faintly showing signs of transforming into a world. Once it transformed into a world, the Demon Court would truly reach the immortal rank. At the same time, vast amounts of carnate Yuan Qi poured into the entire Demon Court like a tidal wave. With the metamorphosis of the Demon Court, countless demons and cultivators in the Demon Court received incredible benefits. Good. What a dense Xiantian Yuan Qi. I can feel that this is the purest form of Xiantian Yuan Qi. There's also the Xiantian Slaughter Yuan Qi required by my cultivation technique. I feel that the bottleneck has disappeared. Opportunity, a supreme opportunity. I've heard from the elders of the clan that when a supreme artifact evolves, the living beings inside it will often obtain great benefits. Who knows how many times faster one's comprehension of the great Tao compared to the outside world? In almost an instant, the speed at which the Imperial Jade Archive absorbed chaos energy had reached 504 primordial chaos energy, causing the carnate primordial chaos energy in the Demon Court to increase to an astonishing level. Immediately, countless demons and cultivators sat down cross-legged and closed their eyes to cultivate. Rumble. In the void of the Demon Court, countless tribulation clouds appeared one after another, and a large number of cultivators began to transcend their tribulations. However, after transcending the tribulation, a large number of heavenly tribulations were instantly devoured by the Imperial Jade Archive, perfecting the heavenly tribulation talisman. Almost all cultivators below the level of Eternal Overlord broke through a realm. Everyone above the level of Eternal Overlord broke through a level. For a time, the Demon Court's strength increased greatly. Rumble. The Demon Court was constantly shaking. Boundless fluctuations were transmitted. The Jade Archive of the Imperial Realm had become even more powerful after the heavenly cycle apparatus had fused with it. Faintly, it exuded an aura of immortality. As the Iron Blood warship continued to be refined, The Lingxiao demon court also continued to advance toward the peak of the sovereign divine weapon. Good. Now, the demon court is only one step away from becoming an immortal artifact. This time, when we enter the chaos, we must make the demon court become immortal. Di Shitian stood quietly outside the Imperial Jade Archive, feeling the drastic changes in the entire ancient city. He was secretly excited. The immortal rank was an unimaginable height, an existence comparable to the purple gold continent. Look, the stars. What a vast space of stars. What a vast space of Xinghe. We're in the space of Demon Suppression Valley. How can we see stars? What a resplendent star. I have never seen such a bright star before. However, I feel that there is a rather strange illusion. What's going on? In the soaring firmament demon court, countless demons and all heaven's cultivators who had survived the tribulation of the demon court's growth and metamorphosis suddenly looked up at the outside of the demon court. They discovered that a vast expanse of dazzling stars had mysteriously appeared in the originally empty void outside. The number was almost uncountable. Moreover, it was large and bright. The starlight that bloomed was almost comparable to the sun and the moon. The heavenly cycle star diagram. In the core space, Di Shitian, who was guarding Tian Can, Huang Quan, Duo Bao, and the others, instinctively felt an invisible pressure crushing the demon court from the outside. Without even thinking, he appeared in the sky above the demon court and looked up at the void. Looking at the starry sky, a solemn expression flashed across his face. With just a glance, he could tell that the star was one of the 10 divine artifacts of the human race, the heavenly cycle star diagram. Feeling the pressure emanating from the heavenly cycle star diagram, he raised his eyebrows and emitted a strong sense of majesty. Shifter Emperor, you have invaded the territory of the human race and wantonly killed the Emperor of Longevity. You have already committed a heinous crime in the human race. A monster will always be a monster. You will never have humanity. Today, I will let you receive your punishment. From the heavenly cycle star diagram, a series of male and female berating voices constantly sounded, but a vast pressure crushed toward the demon court like a tide. Unfortunately, in front of the demon court, that kind of pressure was like an egg hitting a rock. It was not intimidating at all. Human nature is cold. Even humans are indifferent to each other. The blood of the monster race is hot and will boil. You humans are not worthy of being compared to us monsters. What a joke. Di Shitian spat out coldly. He did not hide his sarcasm. Guide the stars, destroy the demon court, rumble. In the heavenly cycle star diagram, all the stars started to revolve rapidly under a mysterious force. In the blink of an eye, all kinds of profound formations were constantly changing. They emitted a strange power. Oh no. Di Shitian saw it and raised his eyebrows. He instinctively sensed a faint sense of uneasiness. Sure enough, after the heavenly cycle star diagram revolved for a while, only a series of terrifying rumbles could be heard. The entire ancient diagram strangely disappeared into the void, and for a moment, the vast stars were withdrawn. However, at the same time, the expressions of countless monsters and cultivators changed drastically. Good. What a huge star, so many stars. Oh my god, that's not an ordinary star, it's an ancient star. They're smashing towards the demon court. So many. These damned human cultivators are so vicious. They actually used the heavenly star diagram to draw down the stars from the ancient star space. Oh my god, I heard that each of the ancient stars is equivalent to a peerless expert. Even a peerless expert wouldn't be able to withstand it if it came crashing down. That's right. That's right. I heard that the ancient stars are equivalent to a peerless expert. It's not just one, it's a meteor shower. One by one, the cultivators looked at the scene in the sky in despair. Their faces were filled with fear. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. They could clearly see that there were bright tails of flames in the void, leaving behind gorgeous starlight. The incomparably huge ancient stars were falling out of the sky. Moreover, they were falling in the direction of the demon court. They were extremely fast, so fast that it was unbelievable. At the same time, the stars were burning with blazing star flames. Under the stars, the void distorted violently and was destroyed inch by inch, constantly shattering into countless pieces. The number of these ancient stars was not just one or two, but thousands, or even tens of thousands. They were densely packed and emitted starlight that could be seen by countless spaces. Each of them carried the aura of death. This was a terrifying meteor shower. A meteor shower with the aura of death. With every inch it descended, the pressure on the demon court of the soaring heaven demon court grew stronger. In the process of falling, the power contained in each star was also rising crazily. Each of them carried a terrifying power that could cause a great powerhouse to die and be severely injured. Your Majesty, the humans are so daring to play tricks on us again. I will go and sweep away all of these stars with the 5-colored divine light. A 5-colored divine light flashed across instantly and stopped in front of Di Shitian, revealing a handsome young man who looked to be in his 20s with a face as white as jade. He was wearing a green robe with the 5-colored divine light behind him, which set off an unusually majestic aura. There was an arrogant look on his face, but it was not annoying. It was a natural pride. However, when he faced Di Shitian, he respectfully asked for a battle. Kong Wu, although you are the guardian divine emperor of the soaring heaven king palace, with your cultivation, you still need to be more careful. Go up the heavenly ladder more often. With your talent, it won't be difficult for you to become an ancient demon god. There's no need for you to do anything now. These meteorites may not be able to do anything to the Lingxiao demon court. Indra glanced at the young man. There was a trace of warmth in his words, but there was also a hint of prodding. Purple firmament thunder guards. Sakura spat out a sentence neither slowly nor slowly. The purple heaven thunder guards are here. Your Majesty, please give your orders. Below each lightning congregating tower, there were 3 burly demon soldiers in purple lightning armor standing straight and answering loudly. The purple heaven thunder guards were specially born for the thunder gathering tower. This army was only in charge of attacking the thunder gathering tower. Enter the tower and lock the iron blood lightning cannon on the meteors. Attack without any restrictions and destroy the ancient stars. Di Shitian said word by word and gave the order with boundless majesty. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1138. Yes, Emperor. Many of the purple heaven thunder guards looked very calm, but they did not hide the strong enthusiasm and respect in their eyes. After they agreed, they all went into the thunder gathering towers. Those with iron blood thunder cannons immediately went to the front of the cannons and quickly aimed the cannons at the rapidly falling stars. Those without cannons also quickly aimed the thunder gathering towers at the stars. Rumble. At an incredible speed, the Jade Archive of the Ultimate Emperor transformed massive amounts of innate essence Qi into inexhaustible innate thunder essence, which was then injected into the thunder-gathering towers through countless mysterious Dao patterns. Now, even without the iron blood thunder cannons, the thunder-gathering towers were so powerful that they could pose a fatal threat to an ancient overlord. Moreover, there were not only 1 or 2 of them in the demon court, but a total of 129,600 of them. If they were to explode at this moment, the power would be so terrifying that it could destroy everything in its path. But at the same time, it was a kind of pressure for the Ultimate Emperor Jade Archive. Once it was opened, it would consume a huge amount of Yuan Qi of heaven and earth at every moment. Every time it exploded, it would consume at least 1 origin realm Yuan Qi. In addition to the Iron Blood Thunder Cannon, it would consume 3 origin realm Yuan Qi every second. Rumble. Of course, for the current Ultimate Emperor Jade Archive, this consumption was just a drop in the ocean. On the spot, all the thunder-gathering towers shook at the same time. Lightning of different colors flowed like water and instantly covered each tower completely. Dull rumbling sounds were constantly heard. Countless thunder yuan madly gathered in the towers. Thunder-gathering towers. I wonder if these thunder-gathering towers can destroy those meteors. The ancient stars are too terrifying. There shouldn't be a problem. Look at that ferocious cannon barrel. It only appeared when he just advanced. It must have monstrous power. The shifter emperor will not do something he is not confident of. The cultivators began to watch the battle in front of them. Although they were nervous, they could not help but calm down when they saw Di Shitian standing calmly in the void. They had considerable confidence in the shifter emperor. Rumble. The thousands of stars grew larger and larger as they got closer. They were like huge balls of flames, and the pressure they brought was constantly increasing. In the blink of an eye, they were already within 1,000,000 miles of the demon court. They could even hear the sound of meteorites shattering space. Attack. The moment Di Shitian uttered the 2 words softly, all the lightning-gathering towers exploded. Bang bang bang. Countless dazzling lightning balls bombarded the thousands of stars like raindrops. Each lightning ball was hundreds of feet in size and contained incredible destructive power. Among them, there were 129,600 dazzling lightning bolts that possessed terrifying destructive power. Like lasers, they directly locked onto the several thousand meteors. Rumble. The meteor was truly terrifying. Before the lightning balls could even touch the meteor, they were directly crushed by a terrifying pressure that distorted the space around them. The destructive power of the lightning ball's explosion was annihilated by the collapse of the space around them. It did not cause any damage to the meteor at all. However, the lightning bolts shot out by the Ironblood lightning cannon collided violently with the meteor. On the spot, they collided violently with 2 meteors. The surrounding space collapsed and was constantly annihilated. The flames outside the meteor were shattered. At the same time, the meteor's speed was constantly decreasing. The terrifying roar almost shook the void and filled the ears of countless practitioners. The Ironblood lightning cannon was able to contend with the falling meteor, which showed its terrifying offensive power. However, this was not the end of it. The Ironblood lightning cannon had 3 barrels that rotated in a rotating manner. Once it fired, it could almost be done without stopping. Bang bang bang. Streaks of lightning with unimaginable destructive power bombarded the meteorite crazily. Bolts after bolts of lightning bombarded the meteorite like raindrops. Each bolt of lightning could blast apart the body of a peerless expert. It was terrifying to the extreme. No matter how strong the meteorite was, it was unable to withstand the bombardment of dozens of lightning cannons. Ferocious and terrifying cracks madly spread in all directions at a speed visible to the naked eye. Before long, the stars exploded one after another under another bombardment, turning into countless fragments of various sizes that shot out in all directions, smashing towards the soaring sky demon court. They were densely packed and covered an innumerable area. Boom boom boom. However, these fragments were immediately shattered under the attack of the countless lightning-gathering towers, exploding into brilliant fireworks in the void. In the blink of an eye, the thousands of ancient meteors that bombarded the meteor had completely disappeared from the void. Only the shattered space could see the tragic scene that had just occurred in the void. The fierce battle had only taken place in a few short moments. However, the dazzling divine light that had erupted was completely reflected in the minds of every practitioner. Vaguely, it was difficult for them to recover. They were dumbfounded. When did the demon court have such a domineering attack method? The power of the battle cannons, each attack has the destructive power of a peerless expert. Didn't the intelligence say that the demon court, other than the 4 heavenly gates that were sturdy, lack attack methods and have always relied on brute force to fight? The mighty power of these lightning-gathering towers has become so terrifying. It seems that we have underestimated the demon court. Now, the demon court has probably reached the peak of the supreme artifact level and has 1 foot in the immortal level. This won't do. The demon court is too much of a threat to the human clan. It was already extremely powerful when it didn't have any attack methods. Now that it has such a powerful attack method, the threat it poses to the human clan is even more terrifying. We must propose to destroy the demon court at all costs. In the void, a series of spirit wills were communicating rapidly. They were the few almighty beings hidden in the heavenly cycle star map. After witnessing the stars they had drawn down being blasted into smithereens in such a domineering manner, the shock in their hearts was almost to the extreme. After seeing that all the stars were blasted into smithereens, Di Shitian stood in the void and scanned the entire demon court. Wherever his gaze landed, countless demons could feel a solemn atmosphere. They all looked at him. In ancient times, we fought with the savage beasts for survival space. Faced with endless savage beasts, how did we demon clan face them? Di Shitian calmly said. It seemed to be a murmur, but it also seemed to be a question to countless demons, a kind of spur to their hearts. Kill. 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 The eyes of the countless demon clan members slowly changed, as if their entire bodies had returned to the ancient man era. They personally felt the spirit of their ancestors. In ancient times, we demon clan faced hundreds of millions of demon gods. How did we demon clan face them? Di Shitian asked again. Kill. 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 The eyes of countless demons blazed, and murderous voices roared out like a tide. The voices grew louder and louder, almost shaking the void and filling the entire demon court. Now, we are facing the provocation and attack of the humans. How should we face them? Di Shitian said word by word, attacking the demons' hearts. His sonorous voice echoed in every inch of the void. Kill. 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 Slaughter the humans. Kill them all. Destroy them. We, the demon race, are definitely not easy to bully. Countless hysterical cries rang out crazily. A kind of anger, as if their reverse scale had been touched, hovered in the minds of every demon. The demon blood in their bodies was boiling. They couldn't wait to rush out of the demon city and fight with the human cultivators. Blood. What Sakura wanted was for the blood in the demon race's body to never be extinguished. He wanted the demon race to always maintain the blood in their body that wasn't cold. This was also the reason why he wanted to question the demons at this moment. Good. Today, I will lead you to face the humans head-on. I will let the world know that we demon clan are not to be bullied. Whoever provokes us, we will pay them back 100 times, 1,000 times. We demon clan will not bully anyone, but we will not let anyone bully us. Kill. Di Shitian spat out a sentence filled with murderous intent. As soon as his voice fell, all the lightning-gathering towers exploded. Countless lightning bolts, countless lightning balls, and a large number of lightning cannons bombarded the void. Rumble. The void was filled with countless lightning bolts on the spot. Under the countless lightning bolts, a vast heavenly cycle star map was blasted out by countless lightning balls and lightning cannons. Demon Emperor, you are too much of a bully. A cold, angry roar came from the heavenly cycle star map. Aren't you afraid that we humans will come and smash your demon court to smithereens? A threatening female voice echoed in the void. If you humans want to fight, then we demon clan dare to fight. Today, I will first beat you into dogs. Di Shitian's emperor's aura was like a mountain, and he sneered with supreme arrogance. Your Majesty, we dog clan don't accept dogs. The heaven devourer dog god shouted. Kill. Di Shitian commanded. On the spot, all the lightning congregating towers roared madly. Countless lightning bolts bombarded the heavenly cycle star map like a tide. Heavenly cycle star map, Star War gods, kill. Under the control of the 5 almighty experts, the cosmic star formation in the diagram was completely activated. The countless stars in the diagram revolved in various profound trajectories. Numerous towering star gods of war, each of whom was at least 10,000 feet tall and clad in star battle armor, continued to take shape. They each held a variety of weapons in their hands. Roar. With a roar, they slashed at the attacks that filled the sky. Each strike had a terrifying destructive force comparable to that of a peerless expert. The countless lightning bolts were destroyed. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chijien. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1139. 9 almighty experts were enough to push the cosmic star map, a peak autarch-level divine artifact, to the extreme. They could completely unleash the mysteries and power of the entire cosmic star map. They operated rapidly in the mysterious orbit of the cosmic star formation, condensing into numerous astral war gods that seemed to have materialized. Each astral war god had the power of a peerless expert. They could explode with destructive power. Not only could the star atlas absorb the power of the stars, it also contained a primordial spirit treasure born from the primordial chaos, the Valurium star tree. It could absorb the faith of countless astral gods, nurture countless stars, and unleash vast amounts of astral power. Although it was an extreme treasure, its power was also extreme. It was invincible among the stars. The stars, the dawn of the darkness, the jewels of the void, illuminate countless worlds, give birth to countless living beings. The stars represent life, and the stars represent destruction. Astral hymns echoed throughout the ancient atlas as one astral war god after another charged out of the ancient atlas, charging toward the countless bolts of lightning that blotted out the sky. Be it the five elements lightning, the baleful yin lightning, the baleful earth lightning, or the annihilation lightning, they were all pulverized. They wielded all sorts of strange weapons, including sabers, swords, spears, and hammers. With a single strike, they could shatter all attacks in an area of hundreds of thousands of meters. Ordinary lightning congregating towers posed little threat to these astral war gods. According to the Pantheon Palace's intelligence, the demon court was lacking in offensive methods. However, that was in the past. Now that the Ironblood battleships had merged with them, they truly had claws and fangs. And they were incredibly sharp. Bam! 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 The Ironblood lightning cannons rained down on the astral war gods with almost no pause in between. Bolts of lightning were compressed and blasted out by the cannons. These weren't ordinary bolts of lightning, but rather a type of lightning known as the annihilation lightning, terrifying lightning, brimming with destructive power. Each bolt of annihilation lightning glowed with crimson light and carried with it the aura of death. Each bolt was 30,000 meters long, and they slammed into the astral war gods. Although the astral war gods unleashed their own terrifying attacks to contend with the lightning, they were only able to hold out for a moment before being pulverized by the annihilation lightning. Simultaneously annihilated. The Ironblood lightning cannon destroyed everything in its path. Bang bang bang. The dazzling great thunder of annihilation left behind dazzling streaks of lightning as it struck the Star War gods again and again. Those Star War gods exploded like fireworks on the spot. At the same time, a massive amount of divine lightning blasted into the heavenly cycle star map behind the great thunder of annihilation, causing the space within the ancient map to constantly distort. At the same time, bolts of great annihilation divine thunder broke into the ancient diagram, shattering stars one after another. However, the ancient diagram was also very strange. When a star was destroyed, another star would immediately be born. It was like the most terrifying black hole, constantly swallowing up a sea of attacks. Meteor fall. In the star map, the nine almighties let out a roar at the same time. The heavenly cycle star diagram shook violently, causing the surrounding space to distort and shatter. In the blink of an eye, it shattered into billions of fragments. The entire ancient diagram turned into a vast star space. In the center of the star space, one could vaguely see a huge mysterious crystal ancient tree. On the tree, there were fruits, and each fruit was a dazzling star. The ancient star tree shook violently. Boom boom boom. Stars fell from the tree like raindrops, covering the sky and earth. In an instant, each of them turned into the most terrifying and sharp Star War arrows. With dazzling starlight, they shot out densely from the star map. In an instant, the entire demon court was under attack. Boom boom boom. Those astral battle arrows were truly terrifying. Each and every one of them had terrifying penetrative power. The vast amount of divine lightning was pierced through and shattered, emitting a series of rumbling sounds. However, the astral battle arrows were only able to wear away a little bit of the astral battle arrows. They still possessed terrifying destructive power. Even if they encountered the great lightning of destruction, every 3 Star War arrows would be annihilated at the same time as one great lightning of destruction. However, these Star War arrows were so numerous and fast that they broke through the blockade and landed on the demon court. Unfortunately, as soon as these Star War arrows got close to the demon court, they were immediately blocked by an invisible and tough barrier. They could not go any further. It was as if the demon court had suddenly grown countless barbs, making it look like a hedgehog. However, the 4 heavenly gates emitted mysterious divine light at the same time. They vibrated together, and a vast force shook all the Star War arrows into powder. They dissipated into nothingness. Bang, bang, bang! Bolts of great annihilation divine lightning continuously blasted into the heavenly cycle constellation diagram. The constellations in the diagram were destroyed time and time again, and although it didn't seem like much, it caused the diagram to tremble unceasingly. The constellation tree shook violently, spewing out vast amounts of astral yuan qi, giving birth to a large number of constellations. However, the divine glow of the constellation tree grew dimmer and dimmer. The power it absorbed could not compete with the consumption of the star tree. Although countless living beings were constantly praying and pouring the rich power of faith into the star tree, it was like pouring a cup of water on a burning cart of firewood. Not good. Run. The star tree can't keep up with the rate at which it absorbs the power of the stars from the ancient star space. The Ling Xiao demon court is as hard as a tortoise's shell. Even the star battle arrows can't break the 4 cardinal gates. The attack power of those lightning cannons is too terrifying. Once the heavenly cycle star map is broken, the supreme artifact will be damaged. Revenge is a dish best served cold. We'll let the demons live freely for a while. When the time comes, we'll make the demon court pay a painful price. Go. In the heavenly cycle star map, the 9 peerless powerhouses witnessed the collision between the star map and the demon court. Although they did not show any signs of defeat, in terms of vital energy sources, they were no match for the Jade Archive. One absorbed the power of the stars and the power of faith, while the other absorbed the chaos chi directly from the chaos. The difference between the two was obvious at a glance. They could clearly feel the star map's difficulty in holding on. Without thinking, the ancient map in the void shook violently. Ripples appeared around it, and it drilled into the void and broke through the void. Where do you think you're going? Di Shitian saw it, and his black hair danced wildly behind his head. He shouted coldly, "Demon Court, devour the Demon Suppression Valley and chase after the star map. I'll make you humans pay a painful price no matter where you go." Rumble. With Di Shitian's support, the Demon Court's devouring power increased by hundreds and thousands of times. In the blink of an eye, it swallowed the Demon Suppression Valley, which had not been devoured, into the Demon Court and merged into a space. The Demon Court shook slightly and slammed into the void where the heavenly cycle star map left. Bang! The void was smashed into pieces. The Demon Court was a savage beast. "If you dare to target me, I'll pay you back 100 times. Rumble. The Demon Court had already locked onto the aura of the entire heavenly cycle star map. Without waiting for the aura to disappear, they immediately chased after it. With the wonders of the 4-sided heavenly gate and the perfection of the great Tao of space, their speed reached the extreme. In the blink of an eye, they saw the vast star map shuttling through the endless void like a Xinghe. "Where do you think you're going?" Di Shitian snorted coldly. Bang, bang, bang. The iron blood lightning cannons attacked continuously. Bolts of divine thunder of destruction bombarded the star map unstoppably. "Demon Emperor, don't go too far." The 9 mighty figures in the star map were so angry that smoke was coming out of their 7 orifices. They shouted loudly. However, there were still stars that shot out from the star map to block the divine thunder of destruction. "Go too far. Then go even further." Di Shitian spat out coldly with disdain. As his voice fell, the frequency of the iron blood lightning cannon's attacks became more rapid and more powerful. Large amounts of divine thunder of destruction broke through the stars and bombarded the star map directly. The star map was constantly destroyed. Countless stars were shattered, and the light in the star map dimmed. The star tree seemed to be even more powerless. "Quick! Run! The Demon Emperor has gone mad." The 9 supreme powerhouses could not help but feel terrified. Even they could smell the scent of death in the face of the terrifying great destruction thunder. For a moment, the heavenly cycle star map was fleeing frantically. In various worlds, in various corners, countless cultivators witnessed an unimaginable pursuit. In the sky above the vast desolate mountain range in the purple gold continent, there was no sign of human habitation. Suddenly, a star appeared in broad daylight. Immediately after, bolts of blood-red lightning bombarded the star, and a large number of stars were destroyed. A vast ancient city emitted a barbaric aura and chased after them. Without even stopping for a moment, the star map shook and disappeared from the sky above the desolate mountain range. In the underworld, countless ghost cultivators, skeletons, and other undead creatures suddenly realized that a vast star had suddenly appeared in the underworld where stars had never appeared before. However, those stars were constantly bombarded by terrifying attacks. The attacks caused a large number of stars to shatter. Although the star map kept attacking the demon court and even mobilizing the ancient star space, any attack was shattered by the four directions' heavenly gates. Even if the 9 mighty figures used all kinds of methods, be it in the sky or on the ground, they were still unable to defeat the demon court. The repeated attacks actually caused fine cracks to appear on the star tree in the star map. One fled, and the other chased. The star map almost had no way to escape. Jumping again and again, it was unknown how many voids it had crossed. How many worlds? It was like a headless fly. There was no purpose at all. It could only keep jumping. I don't believe that we can't get rid of this demon emperor. A mighty figure roared in exasperation. He controlled the star map to instantly break through the underworld. With this jump, he suddenly shuttled to a mysterious place. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chijien.com to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1140. Damn, I must have caught a cold. My head is a little dizzy, but I still have to finish writing. I'm going to sleep now. What is this place? I can't feel the connection with the purple gold mainland and the other worlds. In the star map, a woman's expression changed slightly as she spoke in surprise. Not good, I'm afraid that we've entered a dangerous place. This place is self-contained, and can completely cut off the connection between the violet gold continent. This kind of dangerous place, maybe only the 9 great forbidden lands of the heavens and earth have such power. A man also looked at the scene outside the star map in surprise. He felt that all the hair on his body was about to stand on end. The 9 Almighties all revealed wary expressions. The 9 great forbidden lands were the life-forbidden zones for all cultivators and Almighties in the world. They had the terrifying power to bury the Almighties. In the star map, the 9 Almighties sat on their thrones and floated in the stars. However, they all opened their eyes wide and looked outside the star map. Outside the star map, one could only see strands of multicolored and bizarre clouds covering the vast area. The star map could not occupy much space here at all. Vaguely, they could see mysterious scenes appearing in the clouds. There were thousands of beauties dancing. Countless wealth and treasures were piled up into mountains. Billions of mixed energy pills stood proudly like heavenly pillars. Waves of exotic fragrance wafted into their noses. Strands of formless black gas and gorgeous clouds constantly seeped into the star map. In an instant, the 9 Almighties only felt that all kinds of thoughts were emerging from the bottom of their hearts like a tide. They couldn't be stopped from gushing out. In their minds, there was a mess. Lin. At this moment, a burly man's expression changed. Suddenly, a shocking great Tao heavenly voice burst out from his mouth. This reprimand seemed to be immensely powerful. It was instantly transmitted into the minds of all the mighty figures. Their eyes, which were originally a little blurry, instantly became clear. However, they also broke out in cold sweat from the shock. Desire, it's the power of desire. It's a desire that can affect us Almighties. It's so scary. I finally understand where we are. An old man's eyes were filled with shock. Limitless desire. They almost said the same thing at the same time. One of the 9 great life forbidden zones, the limitless realm, is located at the very front of the forbidden zones. Quick, we have to leave this place quickly. Otherwise, even we will not be able to hold on. What I'm afraid of is that this time, we will enter the depths of the limitless realm. If we want to leave again, it won't be a simple matter. Everyone's expressions became unusually grave. Clearly, They understood that it was just as they had said. This time around, even with the heavenly star map, it would be difficult to ensure their safety. This ancient map was actually unable to withstand the continuous invasion of the desire force. Desire was all-pervasive. Moreover, they had not achieved the state of having no desires or thoughts. To this vast power of desire, it was the source of desire that constantly emitted from 9 places. Rumble. At this moment, the boundless sea started to churn violently. Intense fluctuations and distortions could be felt. Amidst a thunderous boom, the ancient city that was filled with killing intent and Supreme Emperor Qi broke through the air, chasing after Qin Wentian. Hey! Why is it a sea of fog? Where is this place? Why does it feel so familiar? Dark looked around in astonishment. Suddenly, his expression changed and he said, "My goodness, this is the power of desire." What a vast power of desire. Where is this place? Why is there such a vast power of desire force? Could it be? What a pure power of desire force. It's even purer than the power of desire force in the heavenly punishment realm. This place is. Di Shitian had followed the star map all the way. When he saw the star map shuttling away, he immediately followed the aura that permeated the void and broke through the air. However, he did not expect to suddenly appear in such an inexplicable place. Looking at the aura around him, a mysterious place suddenly flashed in his mind. The limitless desire force. Only those in the limitless desire realm could possess such an inconceivable power of desire, and such a pure power of desire. Furthermore, this seemingly endless sea of desire was proof that this was the limitless desire force, one of the most mysterious forbidden zones in the legends, the limitless desire force. TSK. That's great. The limitless desire force is the most difficult of the 9 forbidden zones to find. That's because the limitless desire force is constantly on the move. Not many experts know where it will appear next. Even if they did, they wouldn't want to enter. It's the grave of countless experts. Who would have thought that the star map would so coincidentally lead us into the limitless desire force? This is truly the will of the heavens. Dark laughed maniacally. This was truly the will of the heavens. There was a path to heaven, but you refused to take it, and there was no door to hell. This star map was simply seeking its own death. What place in the world was more suitable for Di Shitian to fight than the limitless desire force? It was no exaggeration to say that he was the ruler of this place. He was like a fish in water. Boom, boom, boom. Moreover, one could clearly see that the endless power of desire outside the demon court was surging into the ancient city like a tidal wave. However, it didn't affect the demon clan or cultivators in the city at all. Because Di Shitian cultivated the Tao of Desire, he had already condensed the complete Tao of Desire in the Imperial Jade Archive. At this moment, as soon as the power of desire entered the ancient city, it was immediately swept into the Imperial Jade Archive and into the Tao Lotus of Desire in the core space. The demon court was as stable as Mount Tai. Quick, this is a godsend opportunity. Now is the best time to destroy that star map. Dark urged excitedly. Oh no, the demon emperor is chasing us again. Damn it, he's chasing us like a parasite. We're doomed. Rumor has it that the demon emperor cultivates the Tao of Emperor and Tao of Desire. Now that we're in the limitless desire force, I'm afraid we're doomed. It's fine if we die, but if we lose the star map in our hands, we'll be the sinners of the entire human race. The female Almighty's face was full of decadence. There was a hint of unwillingness. Crack. Just as the 9 Almighty were in despair, suddenly, in the sea of desire, there was a crisp sound. A snow-white long river broke through the clouds and appeared in front of the star map. This long river was formed by mysterious threads. It was a floating dust. In the floating dust, there was a unique aura that was emotionless and desireless. He rolled up the star chart in an instant and pulled it back fiercely. He was about to pull the heavenly cycle star chart out of the sea of desire. How dare you? When Di Shitian saw it, a cold light shot out from his eyes. With a shout, the heavenly punishment divine eye between his brows opened. A vast majestic aura spewed out. A terrifying purple-gold divine light blasted towards the floating dust at lightning speed. Heavenly punishment, divine annihilation. Rumble. However, just as the divine light of annihilation was about to hit the floating dust, waves of strange ripples appeared in the sea of desire again. It constantly twisted, and a 24-story golden pagoda suddenly emerged out of thin air. In an instant, it collided violently with the divine light of annihilation. There was a destructive roar on the spot. The surrounding sea of desire was violently collapsing. The pagoda trembled continuously under the annihilation divine light. In an instant, one could clearly see that in the pagoda, there were countless intricate gears that appeared. They were constantly rotating and operating, crushing the power that erupted from the annihilation divine light into powder countless times. It was constantly showing the supreme will of the wheel. In every gear, there seemed to be a wonderful world and a wonderful dream. There seemed to be countless Buddhas and Arhats chanting scriptures inside. It was emitting endless Buddhist light. With this block, the star map had been pulled out of the limitless realm. Even the 24-story pagoda followed and disappeared in the blink of an eye. If not for the rolling clouds in the sea of desire, no one would have thought that there was a violent collision that had just occurred here. What a grand supreme! What a wheel! Di Shitian slowly uttered each word with an inexplicable charm. His eyes were unusually deep. The foundation of the human race is indeed terrifying. Ming took a deep breath and said, according to the interrogation of some demon gods in the Demon Suppression Valley, according to the investigation of those demon gods, we found that the strength of the human race is far beyond the experts that have appeared on the surface. There is also a considerable portion of them hidden in the dark. It is said that they are carrying out some kind of unspeakable plan. Moreover, it seems that the strongest among the human race is not the 10 great immortal sects on the surface, but an existence called the Pantheon Temple. Even the demon gods have not completely figured out their exact strength. Ming took a deep breath and spoke with a solemn expression on his face. Haha. Di Shitian was not angry. Instead, he laughed and said meaningfully, it's not strange. If the human race only has this much strength on the surface, then it should be strange. No matter how many powerful figures there are in the human race, I will not be surprised. Because the human race can give birth. Give birth. It was a blessing to be able to give birth. Especially for a race. Being able to give birth represented the achievements of a race. For example, the 100 races in the heavens were not weak. Their individual combat strength was much stronger than that of the human race. But why could they not become the rulers of the world like the demon race and the human race? It was because of the problem of numbers. The demon race was because everything in the world, be it flowers, trees, birds, or beasts, as long as it had intelligence, it was a demon race. Numbers were not a problem. Because the human race could give birth, their ability to reproduce was almost the best among the 100 races in the heavens. Looking at the current population of the human race, it was almost uncountable. It was 100 times, 1,000 times, or even 10,000 times more than when the demon race was at its peak in ancient times. With such a huge population base, it would be strange if there were few geniuses and experts born. Chapter 1141. This was also the reason why Di Shitian did not massacre the human race when the demon court was upgraded to a supreme artifact. It was also the reason why the 100 races only revealed their strength when they returned but did not fight to the death with the human race. It was because they had already guessed that the human race's hidden strength was not as simple as it seemed on the surface. Every time a peerless genius appeared, the upper echelons of the human race would hide him as quickly as possible. Half-step dominator. The one that appeared in the heaven-toppling ancient diagram was indeed only an avatar. The reincarnation Buddha, who possesses the peerless cultivation technique of Tao verification in dreams, has indeed peaked into a higher realm. However, what exactly is the human race doing? When I verified my Tao for the second time, they did not send their true bodies but only sent their avatars. It seems like the human race is very scheming. Di Shitian's eyes were deep as he spoke with confidence. 2. He had seen Taishang Dao ancestor with his own eyes. He was definitely a half-step dominator. Otherwise, he would not have been able to break into the limitless desire realm and pull the heavenly cycle star diagram out. The aura that the 24-story pagoda exuded was almost identical to the reincarnation Buddha's. Only a half-step dominator could withstand his attack. This also confirmed his guess. The one he saw back then was indeed not the reincarnation Buddha's true body. 2. He could be sure that Taishang Dao ancestor and the reincarnation Buddha were definitely half-step dominators. Good lad, there's a conspiracy. For the heavenly cycle star diagram, 2 half-step dominators actually took action at the same time. Not only did they block you, but they also wanted to ensure that nothing goes wrong. Even the reincarnation Buddha, who had been hiding his true cultivation level, did not hesitate to expose it. This seems a little unusual. Could it be that there is a problem with the heavenly cycle star diagram or the 9 supreme experts? Or is it because it involves some crucial plan? Ming rolled her eyes thoughtfully as she continued to deduce all sorts of possibilities. Lunatic DI, did you notice that when the news of Demon Suppression Valley was released back then, the human race only sent some insignificant small fries to explore it? The human race did not use any of their 10 supreme artifacts. It seems like they are deliberately enduring and keeping a low profile, Dark said again. He had some vague ideas, but he just couldn't grasp the crux of it. Counter soldiers with arms, water with an earth weir, Yang Qi said. Everything is illusory. Only true power is eternal. It doesn't matter what the humans are plotting. As long as I continue to rise in power and transform, I'll become the sovereign lord, and the demon court will transform into a deathless god item. How could Sakura not be aware of the hidden undercurrent within? However, that wasn't something that he should get involved in now. Only by making his own strength stronger would he be truly powerful. Then, in the future, he would have the means to deal with any changes. However, after he finished speaking, he paused for a moment and sneered, however, since the human race dares to provoke me when I'm about to leave the purple gold mainland, then don't blame me for ruthlessly causing trouble for them before I leave, teaching them a lesson they will remember well. Don't think that the matter of saving the heavenly cycle stellar map is over. Hee. Well said. Towards the human race, we must teach them a harsh lesson. Ming clenched his fists tightly and shouted. This is the limitless desire realm. Outside is the endless desire of all living beings. Anyone who enters will be eroded by desire in an instant. In the end, they will sink into the sea of desire. No demon is allowed to leave the demon court. I'm relieved that you're in charge of the demon court. Di Shitian took a deep breath and turned to look at Chen Shi, who was dressed in a phoenix robe. He revealed a gentle expression and spoke slowly. Don't worry, husband. I'll take care of the demon court. Chen Shi nodded at him with a solemn expression and agreed. Kong Wu, Hu Luzi, Xie Sanyang, all of you assist the demon empress with all your might in the demon court. Tian Kan, Huang Quan, and Duobao are currently advancing to the ancient demon god realm. Once the heavenly tribulation is triggered, all the nearby demons must be evacuated immediately. There can't be any mishaps. Di Shitian looked at the ministers of the demon court around him and instructed. Don't worry, your majesty. We understand. Kong Wu and the other demon ministers answered solemnly. The star map escaped here, but I didn't know that it brought me a great opportunity. Di Shitian waved his hand and said with a smile, the Celestial Emperor's war chariot. Roar. Roar. He had only just said that when 9 primordial dragon roars, each brimming with an overbearing aura, charged into the sky. Ripples spread out in all directions and countless cultivators felt their hearts trembling. They could feel how insignificant they were in the face of the might of the dragons. A majestic pressure rolled over like a tidal wave. Rumble. From the Jasper Lake, 9 incomparably vast immemorial ferocious dragons excitedly swayed their bodies and pulled up the supreme Celestial Emperor's chariot. As the chariot rotated, it emitted a resplendent purple flame. The Celestial Emperor's imperial canopy emitted a 7-colored radiance. In the rainbow light, pictures of dragons, tigers, black tortoises, vermilion birds, killins, and other divine beasts were intertwined. It was extremely noble. Whoosh. With a slight sway, he was already on the Celestial Emperor's war chariot when he reappeared. Looking at the 9 primordial dragons that had recovered, he nodded slightly and said, "Last time, you were able to withstand the heavenly tribulation for me. Come, I'll give you a great opportunity and help you become primordial ancestral dragons." Roar. Roar. Ever since the immemorial 9 dragons were connected to the Celestial Emperor's war chariot, their wisdom had become more and more profound. Hearing Sakra's promise, each and every one of the dragon's eyes radiated bright rays of light as they issued bursts of excited dragon roars. They turned their heads and kowtowed to Sakra. They were filled with gratitude. "Let's go." Di Shitian gestured for the 9 dragons to fly out of the demon court. Without any hesitation, the 9 dragons pulled the Celestial Emperor's war chariot into the boundless sea of desire. As soon as they left the demon court, the surrounding desire energy surged in like a tidal wave. At the same time, a strange picture scroll appeared above Di Shitian's head. Countless grotesque scenes appeared in the picture scroll, constantly changing. As soon as the surrounding desire energy appeared outside the Celestial Emperor's war chariot, it was immediately sucked in by the picture scroll, unable to get close to the primordial dragons. Virtual illusory realm, devouring desire. The virtual illusory realm above his head spun continuously, forming a terrifying vortex that exuded an extremely strong devouring force. It was like the source of desire. In the picture scroll, sacred spirits of desire were constantly praying, exuding an endless amount of undying obsession. It swept away all the power of desire in the surroundings. "Crazy Di, look, that's the 100 desire demonic orb." The virtual illusory realm devoured all of the surrounding desire energy. Instantly, the clouds in front of them dissipated, revealing the objects hidden in the clouds. On the spot, he saw pitch-black pearls the size of longans floating in the air. On the surface of the pearl, there were countless images flashing continuously. There were mountains of treasures, countless beauties, and boundless authority that ruled over the world. These images flashed by from time to time. It seemed to make one involuntarily want to possess them. There were quite a few of these pearls, and there was one every 100 meters or so. The 100 desire demonic orb, the one that Ku Rong used to harm me in the southern barbarian lands, is indeed from here. Seeing this, Di Shitian waved his hand and unceremoniously collected all of the 100 desire demonic orbs around him. These demonic orbs were the essence condensed from the accumulation of desire energy over thousands of years. Each orb had a terrifying power that could make a cultivator fall for it. However, at the same time, it was also a rare treasure. If he used it properly, he might be able to refine a rare treasure. Not only could desire cause a living being to fall for it, but it also had the supreme benefit of tempering one's heart. "Go left." Di Shitian instructed the primordial 9 dragons beneath him. For some reason, as soon as he entered the limitless realm, he immediately had an inexplicable feeling. Somewhere in the limitless realm, there was a mysterious calling that was constantly sending him messages. It wanted him to go. That feeling, that calling, was unusually clear in his mind. Rumble. The primordial 9 dragons were extremely fast. They pulled the chariot in the direction Di Shitian had pointed out. Everywhere they went, large patches of desire energy were devoured by the virtual illusory realm. It did not affect the primordial 9 dragons at all. The devouring power of desire energy was not stored. It was directly poured into the demon refining cauldron to refine the impurities. It surged into his flesh and blood, continuously increasing his cultivation. Along the way, all the 100 desires demonic orbs were collected, without leaving a single one behind. His speed was very fast, but he did not know how vast the limitless realm was. It took him a full hour. Suddenly, the calling in Di Shitian's mind disappeared. "It's right in front." Sakra's eyes abruptly flashed with a glint of light. In front of him, the originally endless clouds of desire had strangely disappeared, presenting a scene without desire, as if it was a piece of nothingness. However, in the void, there was a mysterious 7-colored divine peak. On the divine peak, there was a mysterious 7-colored scroll floating in the air. It floated up and down, but it naturally sucked the desires of all living beings in the surroundings into the scroll. In the scroll, a girl in a snow-white dress with a pair of exquisite snow-white feet was dancing a beautiful heavenly dance. Her face was full of innocence. When she saw Dai Shitian coming, she immediately stopped dancing. Her face bloomed with joy, and she said happily, "Big brother Shitian, you're finally here. Little Huan has been waiting for you here for many years. Quickly bring little Huan out. Little Huan doesn't want to face loneliness here every day." When she saw Dai Shitian, the first sentence she said was very intimate. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chijian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1142. It's a new week. Please help me buy some tickets. You're the artifact spirit of the virtual illusory realm, Dai Shitian muttered as he looked at the excited girl. Yes. Huan was the artifact spirit of the virtual illusory realm. She had been waiting for Big Brother Shitian for a long time. Why are you only here now? I'm very sad to be here alone. That young girl blinked her eyes and pouted her little mouth. She looked angry, but there was an indescribable cuteness to her. Her childish voice seemed to pierce through one's heart. It made one feel a sense of compassion for her. You know me. Dai Shitian did not let his guard down just because of a few words. He furrowed his brows slightly and asked again. Of course, I know you. How could I not know Big Brother Shitian? She tapped her forehead as if she was trying to recall something. She paused for a moment before continuing. I remember the first time I met Big Brother Shitian was when you were refining a strange zither. It attracted a lot of desire energy. Dai Shitian nodded. The first time he came into contact with the energy of desire was when he was refining the 7 sins demonic zither. Later on, you created a demonic vein based on the 7 emotions and 6 desires in your body. At that time, I already noticed you. You were lost in sorrow, and I was the one who helped you recover. I'm amazing, aren't I? As she spoke, she looked as if she wanted to be praised or rewarded. It was you back then? Sakura was slightly startled. Back then, he was lost in the sorrowful state and was almost unable to extricate himself. He originally found LV Chichin and thought that it was LV Chichin's life aura that saved him, temporarily suppressing his sorrowful thoughts. He didn't expect that the real reason was actually the help of this young girl in front of him. It was the virtual illusory realm's help. Yes. Huan said happily. Later on, whenever Big Brother Shitian cultivated a new type of desire, I would help him send it into Big Brother Shitian's body. Now, you've fused 12 types of desire. I'm so happy that Big Brother Shitian can finally take me out of here. I don't have to stay here anymore. This place isn't fun at all. The joy on his face seemed to come from his heart. You want to follow me? Dai Shitian took a deep breath and asked, You want to follow me? That's right. I'll go wherever you go, Huan said without hesitation. If I want to take you away, then you can only fuse with my inner world, the Tianfa world, and become the supreme law of my inner world. Are you willing? Dai Shitian asked with a slightly probing tone. His inner world was his core, and it was inside the eye of heaven's punishment divine eye. If Huan was willing to enter it, it would mean that she really wanted to follow him, and there was no ulterior motive behind it. However, if she didn't want to enter, then things would not be as simple as they seemed. Hey, that's great. I was just about to tell Big Brother that your virtual illusory realm is nothing compared to mine. Once I devour it, I'll be Big Brother's domain. Tell Big Brother that I'm a carnate supreme treasure. Huan blinked and giggled. She didn't resist at all. All right, come into my inner world. When Sakura heard this, he no longer hesitated. No matter from which aspect, the virtual illusionary land in front of him did not show any hostility. Immediately, there was no more hesitation. Whoosh! A crack appeared between his eyebrows, and the heavenly punishment divine eye quickly opened. Following that, a purple-gold divine light instantly shot out from the divine eye, charging straight towards the picture scroll that was hanging on the divine peak. The painting was completely covered by the divine light. Absorb. A powerful suction force erupted from the divine light and sucked the mirage illusion into the divine eye. The scroll didn't show any signs of resistance. Huan who was sitting on the scroll, was so happy that her eyes turned into crescent moons. However, even so, there was still an incomparably heavy feeling when he tried to absorb it. It was as if a mortal was moving an object that was almost beyond his capacity. Every inch he moved felt like he was moving a mountain. The true force of the Emperor's indestructible true force in his body was almost depleted. Rumble. When the entire Wuji dreamland moved in the illusionary realm, it was like a tsunami, emitting a violent roar. Countless desires surged into the illusionary realm like a tide, as if wanting to keep it in the Wuji dreamland and not let it leave. However, since the virtual illusory realm didn't resist and the absorption force of the Eye of Heaven's punishment kept increasing, it didn't affect what was happening at all. TSK, what a powerful virtual illusory realm. If it wasn't for the fact that it didn't resist, the Eye of Heaven's punishment wouldn't have been able to absorb it at all. However, once it fuses, the Eye of Heaven's punishment will undergo an incredible transformation. This is a peerless opportunity, Dark exclaimed excitedly as he watched the virtual illusory realm fusing into the Eye of Heaven. Rumble. The art of Heaven's punishment kept circulating, and the true force of the Emperor's indestructible talisman kept pouring into the Eye of Heaven. It might only take a moment, or it might take 1,000,000,000 years. As soon as the virtual illusory realm entered the Eye of Heaven's punishment, she rushed into the void excitedly and swallowed the original virtual illusory realm without hesitation. Then, she replaced the fake virtual illusory realm and merged it into her inner world. The moment it merged with her inner world, the whole Heaven's punishment world and nether prison expanded at an incredible speed. The space barrier strengthened without limit. At the same time, strange images suddenly appeared in Di Shitian's mind. His mind seemed to be pulled into a mysterious place in an instant. Chaos. Di Shitian calmed himself down and looked around. He saw that he was in a chaotic world. Countless streams of chaotic energy were rolling, rising, falling, and then being born. It was full of terrible destructive power. Countless godfiends were born in the chaos. A large number of godfiends faced a large number of innate spirit treasures, various spirit roots, countless spiritual materials, and resources in the chaos world. Every day, there were fierce battles in the chaos world. Every day, godfiends died in the battle. Wisps of black smoke drifted out of the bodies of the fallen godfiends. These wisps of black smoke were extremely evil. This black gas seemed to be the source of evil as it constantly gathered. More and more of it gathered. Finally, when all the gods and devils had fallen, all the black gas had condensed into a terrifying black cloud. It drifted in the chaos world. The chaos world was great and full of miracles. As the black cloud drifted in the chaos world, a few cracks suddenly appeared in it. A wisp of purple spirit light shot out and crashed into the black cloud. Rumble. Suddenly, the black cloud seemed to have encountered some kind of inconceivable catalyst, and they began to change constantly. Inside the black clouds, scenes of countless gods and demons fighting each other appeared, as if they were fighting over something. It seemed to have been nurtured for countless years. The black cloud strangely condensed into a picture scroll. In the picture scroll, all kinds of evil things and scenes full of desire appeared. That evil was almost impossible to erode in the chaos world. It was exceptionally terrifying. There was another scroll. On the scroll, it was also filled with the charm of desire. It tore through the air and left. It broke away and flew to an unknown place. At some point, the picture scroll suddenly broke through the chaos world and appeared in a place full of vitality. Birds chirped and flowers bloomed. Flowers and plants formed a forest. There were all kinds of life forms everywhere, writing the praises of civilization. It was full of vitality. But at the same time, the world was filled with an almost endless amount of evil black smoke of the same origin. This made the picture scroll like a fish entering the water. It devoured the endless black smoke on the spot into the picture scroll. The picture scroll continued to grow at an astonishing speed in the endless black smoke. In the picture scroll, not only were there fights, but also all kinds of desires and scenes of desires flashed. It made the picture scroll even more complete. At the same time, as if things had reached an extreme, a picture spirit appeared in the picture scroll. This picture spirit did not seem to be affected by the evil. Instead, it could control the evil. It maintained a pure heart and cultivated day after day in the picture scroll. In the end, in that empty environment, an incomparably lonely emotion appeared. Every day, it looked at the rich and colorful lives of all living beings in the world and was filled with yearning. It longed for a powerhouse to bring it out. However, it tried to find a very powerful cultivator to come to its side. But not long after, it was immersed in desire and never woke up again. This let it know that ordinary cultivators could not come to its side. Therefore, it silently watched the common people. Suddenly, it discovered that some cultivators had begun to cultivate the same black smoke as it did. But before it could get excited, it saw that those cultivators who dared to touch the black smoke all died miserably. However, there were still cultivators who kept trying. But they failed time and time again. It made it so that it kept lingering in disappointment. In the end, it discovered that an ordinary demon had actually guided desire into its body and molded it into a demon vein. After that, it did not immediately become addicted. She began to pay attention to it silently. She looked forward to the day when she would leave. I see. She did not know when, but her whole mind seemed to have turned around in an instant. The whole virtual illusory land had been completely integrated into the heavenly punishment world. Di Shitian's eyes revealed a look of realization. It turns out that only those who have cultivated the 7 desires can touch and integrate the virtual illusory land. In the world, only I have successfully cultivated the path of desire in the blink of an eye and integrated the 7 desires into 12. Only then can I withstand the virtual illusory land. The virtual illusory land, the destiny is destined to belong to me. What he saw just now was the process of the birth of the virtual illusory land. After witnessing it, the doubts in his heart disappeared instantly. However, it seems that the virtual illusory land was not the only thing that was born in the chaos. What was that scroll that flew away? Di Shitian said thoughtfully. Chapter 1143. TSK, TSK. It must be a rare treasure to be born with the virtual illusory realm. It's a pity that it flew away. Otherwise, I might have gotten another divine object. However, the virtual illusory realm is also a great opportunity. Now, the divine eye of heaven's punishment has begun to derive the 6th innate divine restriction. This is a sign that it's becoming a mid-grade innate cardinal treasure. Ming said with some regret and excitement. He was in nether prison, so he could clearly sense that the moment the virtual illusory realm fused with him, his divine eye was also transforming. This was the innate divine restriction of all evil. However, this speed of derivation and refinement was not instantaneous. It was continuous derivation and refinement. Even if he wanted to form a complete innate divine restriction, it would take some time. Of course. This is going to be my home in the future, so I have to make it more beautiful and powerful. She pouted and looked at him, a crafty look flashing in her eyes. She pointed at his body, which was made of countless blades, and said softly, "You're Ming. You're the one who helps Big Brother manage Nether Prison." I've heard of you before. You're called the Warden. But before, Big Brother was first, and I was second. You're the little brother, so you have to listen to me. His childish voice didn't seem to have much of a deterrent force. Ming was so angry that his nose was about to become crooked. Warden? Am I, Dark, an ordinary prison guard? P2E. What warden? I'm the warden. Isn't the warden a warden? Whatever, I can't let this little girl ride on my grandfather's head. Me. Little girl, first come, first served. I'm the warden. P2E. No, I'm not the warden. Anyway, I'm in front of you, so you should listen to my orders. Ming shouted with bloodshot eyes. It didn't matter if she was a little girl or a big girl. She couldn't lose her place in Crazy Emperor's heart. You'll suffer if you don't listen. Huana blinked her little eyes, revealing a crescent-shaped light. All of a sudden, she seemed to have transformed from an innocent girl into a little devil with horns on her head. She twitched her nose and snorted, "I'll send you to the virtual land to play first." As she spoke, she waved her little hand at Dark with great interest. Ming's expression changed drastically. He wanted to resist, but he discovered that even with his unparalleled strength, he was unable to resist at all. He was directly pulled into a mysterious space out of thin air. "Little girl, quickly let me out." When Ming saw this, his expression changed. How could he not know that this was probably the virtual illusory realm? He cried out, "Let me tell you, I'm mighty and unyielding. I'm not corrupted by wealth or poverty. You can't do anything to me." "Really?" Huana chuckled in amusement. With a wave of his hand, countless illusions appeared and pulled Nether in. "Huana, remember not to go overboard." When Di Shitian saw this, he did not interfere. He knew that Huana would not go overboard. After being alone in the limitless realm for so many years, it was not easy for her to escape. The playfulness that had been shackled in her body had completely erupted. This was not a big deal. Moreover, if she could comprehend something in the limitless realm and refine her heart, it would be a good thing for Ming. "I know, big brother. Ming is very fun." Huana giggled and agreed. Seeing that the virtual illusory realm had merged perfectly with him, Di Shitian was relieved. However, the limitless realm did not collapse because of the disappearance of the virtual illusory realm. Instead, it continued to gather the limitless power of desire from heaven and earth into the limitless realm of desire. At the center of the divine peak, the limitless realm of desire continued to gather. Innumerable pitch-black desire power gathered in a frenzy. Innumerable pure indestructible obsessions surged forth endlessly, wrapping the entire divine peak within it. Vaguely, one could see an incomparably illusory and exceptionally blurry pitch-black coffin flashing within the divine peak. Every time it flashed, it would wantonly devour a massive amount of desire power, interweaving into a mysterious Tao pattern. Sure enough, the limitless realm of desire is mysterious. It seems that the person who entered the virtual illusory realm back then was just an outsider. Even without the illusory realm, the limitless realm of desire would have given birth to a terrifying supreme treasure. Under Sakra's gaze, he muttered in his heart. He knew that the limitless realm of desire should have given birth to a supreme treasure when heaven and earth was born. Now that the limitless realm of desire had left, the limitless realm of desire began to give birth to a supreme treasure. It would probably take thousands or even tens of millions of years for it to truly take shape. Return to the demon court. Seeing that there was nothing else worth paying attention to, he calmly said to the 9 primordial dragons beneath him, "Rumble." The 9 primordial dragons did not hesitate at all. They quickly pulled the war chariot and flew back to the demon court, leaving behind a dazzling divine light in the limitless realm of desire. Not long after, they returned to the demon court. Although the demon court was in the limitless realm of desire, it was not affected at all. Countless desire power was continuously devoured into the ancient city, forming countless mysterious desire Tao patterns on the ancient city. Back to the demon court. Di Shitian got down from the celestial emperor's war chariot. With a wave of his hand, an incomparably noble and supreme throne appeared naturally behind him. Di Shitian sat on the throne. With a wave of his hand, 2 graceful and noble phoenix thrones appeared on both sides of him. Chen Shi, Katomi, Tian Xiong, and Mai Xin sat down respectively. Kong Wu stood upright at the side. Behind him, countless murderous bloodkill guards stood coldly behind him. The 18 bloodkill generals stood proudly at the front. A cold murderous aura filled the entire demon court like a tide. Countless cultivators and demons widened their eyes as they watched the changes in the sky. War. This was the prelude to a great war. A great war was about to begin. The eyes of the demons burned with passion. The awakened demons were not afraid of war at all. Instead, they had an incomparable desire. "My people of the demon race." Di Shitian looked down majestically and said in a deep voice, the demon court was about to leave the purple gold mainland, but we were once again provoked by the human race. Although we defeated the enemy, the previous matter is not over. Since when did the demon race have to suffer in silence? Today, I'll tell you that those who offend the demon race will be killed no matter how far away they are. Every word was like the sound of the heavens, striking the hearts of countless demon clan members, turning into seeds of indomitable will. This was the spirit of the demon race. Those who offend the demon race will be killed no matter how far away they are. Countless demons had fanatical expressions on their faces as they shouted crazily. What the demon race needed was a strong leader. Let's go to the God's Fall abyss. Di Shitian waved his hand. With a thought, the entire Ling Xiao demon court shook violently. Suddenly, a huge crack appeared in the limitless realm. The entire ancient city drilled out of the crack. At the same time, it broke into the void. Then, it violently crashed into the unknown. In the God's Fall abyss, countless cold auras of death filled every inch of the void. A large number of broken weapons were piled up and gathered in various areas. Every now and then, a large number of weapons would appear out of thin air and fall into the Whitebone abyss. The abyss was filled with terrifying mounds of weapons. It was filled with boundless killing intent. Almost no one was allowed to enter the abyss. There was no sign of life. Even if someone entered this place, they would feel a chill run down their spine. Rumble. At this moment, a huge crack appeared in the void of the abyss. In the crack, a vast divine city appeared out of thin air in the abyss. Majestic pressure rolled out in all directions like a tidal wave. Kill. 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 The pressure of the Ling Xiao demon court spread out into the abyss without any concealment. The terrifying pressure caused the abyss, which seemed to be dead silent, to shake with a loud rumble. A series of murderous cries were heard as if they were coming from an ancient time. Clang. 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 Although they did not have any weapons in their hands, every part of their bodies was a weapon for killing. They were real dark rank soldier souls. There were even soldier souls that held weapons in their hands. The killing intent on their bodies was even more intense. They were real Earth-rank soldier souls. Hundreds of Earth-rank soldier souls charged out of the abyss coldly. Roar. In the sky above the abyss, countless dark clouds gathered and twisted the void. A blood dove that stretched for an unknown number of miles appeared. It was incomparably cold, and its wings covered an unknown number of miles. Each of its blood-colored wings was a terrifying divine weapon. It was brewing an endless killing intent. Kill. The pressure that the blood dove emitted was obviously a heaven-rank soldier soul. It was the top existence among the soldier souls. Seeing the demon court, it obviously took it as a blatant provocation. It flapped its wings and shouted coldly. Kill. 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 The soldier souls that blotted out the sky rushed toward the demon court like a tidal wave. Each of them was at least a dark-rank soldier soul. These soldier souls killed for the sake of killing. Their combat strength was often enough to challenge those above their level. They were enough to kill an ancient demon saint. As for the earth rank, even an ancient demon saint would be defeated. As for the heaven rank, even an ordinary peerless expert would be defeated. At this moment, the soldier souls swarmed over. Their murderous aura dyed the void red. It was as if they were in an ancient battlefield, in the midst of the apocalypse. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1144. Those who have tickets, please help me up. I'll throw in a few recommendation tickets. The murderous aura and murderous intent penetrated one's spiritual soul directly, bringing with it an eerie aura. Some cultivators with weak willpower would collapse on the spot under such a murderous aura. Good timing. Di Shitian sat on the throne without fear. Between his brows, the heavenly punishment divine eye opened and the vast imperial indestructible true force surged into the divine eye like a tide. Whoosh! A purple-gold divine light that was filled with an unparalleled power shot out and swept towards the soldier souls that were swarming over with boundless majesty. Heavenly punishment divine eye, soul catcher. The soul-catcher divine light covered hundreds of thousands of miles in an instant. In the divine light, there was an irresistible majestic power that one's spiritual soul could not resist. Facing it was like facing the might of the heavens. It was extremely terrifying. Everywhere it passed, one could see soldier souls. The profound grade soldier souls did not even have the power to resist and were swept away. The earthly grade soldier souls, although they had the power to resist, could not resist the soul-catcher divine light at all. Wherever the divine light went, large swathes of soldier souls would be instantly wiped clean as if they were harvesting rice paddies. Before they could even reach the front of the demon court, they were all swept away. At the same time, with vast divine power, they swept towards the blood dove at lightning speed. Howl. When the blood dove saw that all the soldier souls around it had been swept away, its cold eyes revealed a look of vigilance. Its left wing slashed towards the divine light like a terrifying blade. The feathers turned into blood-red divine weapons. With incredible power, they crushed the surrounding void into powder. The feathers shot out tens of thousands of feet of divine light. Rumble. The blood dove wanted to shatter the soul-catcher divine light. The blood dove was a soldier soul and its attack was extremely destructive to one's spiritual soul. The soul-catcher divine light could absorb souls, so the blood dove's attack was also extremely effective against the divine light. Suddenly, the soul-catcher divine light was like a heavenly divine sword that clashed violently with the blood-red feathers. The divine light was trembling violently. Countless tiny chains quickly spread out from the divine light and bound the wings, but they were crushed by the feathers of the wings. However, how could the soul-absorbing divine light be so simple when unleashed by Di Shitian? The divine light instantly became incomparably illusory, as if it was nothing. Through the wings. He swiped at blood dove. Crash. Countless tough chains immediately covered the blood dove's body, binding it tightly. The blood dove was enraged. It flapped its countless wings and shattered a large number of chains. However, more chains immediately came to bind it. An inconceivable force pulled the blood dove into the divine eye. Kill. 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 The blood dove kept roaring. Although its fighting strength was unparalleled, it was still inferior to Di Shitian, who had reached the half-step sovereign rank. Although it kept resisting, it was still pulled into the infernal prison. 100 generations slave seal. Di Shitian uttered with a strange majesty. His voice carried the supreme emperor's might, as if he was giving an inconceivable order to heaven and earth. Rumble. In the infernal prison, all the soldier souls that were sucked into the infernal prison saw a mysterious ball suddenly explode in the void. Countless mysterious runes shot out with supreme majesty and imprinted on the forehead of each soldier soul. When the runes were imprinted, the soldier souls that were originally filled with murderous intent quieted down. Inexplicably, a trace of Di Shitian's aura appeared on their bodies. Even the blood dove could not resist the imprint and was imprinted on its body. Forge Pavilion, where are the terracotta soldiers? Di Shitian quickly finished all these and calmly uttered a sentence. Terracotta soldiers, in formation. In the Forge Pavilion, there was a rumble. Below the Forge Pavilion, a cave cracked open like a tomb. Countless dazzling divine light shone on the large empty area in front of it. Rumble. Rumble. Wherever the divine light shone, one could see burly and iron-blooded war bodies lined up in neat rows, standing coldly in the middle of the training ground. A chilling pressure rolled out in all directions like a tidal wave. It was so densely packed that it made one's scalp tingle. Soldier souls enter the body. Blood-killing guards, return to your positions. Rumble. Above the countless terracotta soldiers, the illusion of the infernal prison appeared. In an instant, the soldiers' souls drew out divine light and fell into the bodies of each terracotta soldier. At the same time, the terracotta soldier's armor began to transform into a terrifying blood-red color at an inconceivable speed. Streaks of blood-red murderous intent broke through the air like smoke signals and soared into the sky. On their foreheads, there was a blood-red vertical line, which was a powerful divine power that they had inherited from Di Shitian. Among them, one of the terracotta soldiers instantly expanded after being imprinted with the soldier's soul. At a speed visible to the naked eye, It reached a height of 10,000 feet and immediately turned into a blood-red blood dove. It hovered in the air for a while and then turned back into a soldier's body. Blood dove greets master. This tyrannical blood-killing guard carried boundless pressure. The surrounding blood-killing guards did not dare to stand side by side with it and followed behind it. It indifferently knelt down on one knee and bowed to Di Shitian. Behind it, a large number of blood-killing guards knelt together. Good. When Di Shitian saw Blood Dove kowtow, his face became more dignified. He nodded and said, "Blood Dove, as a heaven-grade soldier's soul, now that you have a body, your combat power is invincible. Today, I confer you as one of the 6 royals, the blood-killing emperor. You will be in charge of the blood-killing guards. Take up the position immediately." This sentence directly made Blood Dove reach the sky in one step. The identity of the 6 royals could be said to be extremely prominent in the demon court. It was not without reason that such a noble position was conferred so easily. The blood-killing guards could be said to be the most terrifying killing weapons in the world. Moreover, all of them were connected by the lifetime slave seal. With the lifetime slave seal, the blood-killing guards were the most loyal imperial guards in the world to Di Shitian. They would never betray him. The combat power of this blood-killing guard could be said to be the strongest in the demon court. For such a legion, he would definitely not be stingy with a mere title. Blood Dove's existence had great wisdom and was the best person to control this legion. "Thank you, Your Majesty." When Blood Dove became a blood-killing guard, he also understood many things and naturally knew how noble the title of blood-killing emperor was. His resistance to Di Shitian dissipated in an instant. "Prepare for war." Di Shitian nodded and ordered. "Yes, Your Majesty." Blood Dove replied loudly, but his voice was still as cold as before. The original 100,000 blood-killing guards and the newly born blood-killing guards did not have any difficulties under Blood Dove's command. They quickly organized into an army and lined up neatly. Moreover, the number of blood-killing guards and their situation were completely sorted out. Among them, only the current blood-killing emperor was at the level of the blood-killing emperor, Blood Dove. Under the blood-killing emperor, there were a total of 1,000 blood-killing generals. Each of them was full of the aura of a general. The number of blood-killing guards at the bottom increased exponentially, reaching a total of 10 million. It just so happened that one blood-killing general was in charge of 10,000 blood-killing guards. All the blood-killing guards were arranged in square formations. They stood in the void of the demon court. They were vast and mighty. They were like heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals. Those who offend the demon clan will be killed no matter how far they are. Today, we will make you humans pay the price. Di Shitian waved his hand, and the demon court shook with a bang. A crack appeared, and they directly broke through the void from the god-perishing abyss and traveled out. In the blink of an eye, they crossed over to the purple-gold continent. When they appeared, they happened to be in the territory of the human clan. Although it was only after they appeared, they immediately broke through the space again and traveled out. However, the existence of the demon court attracted the attention of countless cultivators on the spot. There was even a burst of discussion. "Oh my God, the demon court. That was the demon court just now. Why did this supreme divine artifact come here?" It was indeed terrifying. Facing it, I felt my heart tremble. It was as if it could crush me into dust. Now, the cultivators of the various races have spread the news that a mighty figure of the human clan used one of the 10 great divine artifacts, the star map of the heavenly cycle, to find trouble with the demon court. However, he didn't expect to kick an iron plate. Not only did he not suppress the demon clan, but he was also hunted down by the demon court. I heard that many places have seen the demon court chasing after the star map. Terrifying. This demon court is too terrifying. Even the star map of the heavenly cycle couldn't contend against it. Could it have become an immortal divine artifact? That would be a disaster for the human clan. My God, could it be that the people who just appeared in the demon court are the legendary demon emperor, demon empress, and demon concubine, as well as the most terrifying killing weapons in the legends, the blood-killing guards? They cover the sky and earth. How could there be so many of them? Not good. Just now, I saw the space that the demon court cut open. It seems to be heading towards the heaven realm. That murderous look. Could it be that they plan to enter the heaven realm and start a massacre, starting a war with the human clan? Oh my God, something bad is going to happen. Something big is going to happen this time. Countless cultivators began to discuss, especially the scene of the demon court chasing after the star map. It was as if they were going to heaven and earth, and the battle was extremely intense. It couldn't be hidden from other cultivators at all. When the news spread, almost no cultivator on the purple gold continent didn't know about it. Many cultivators of the various races were secretly laughing at it. But now, it was obvious that they were going to start a massacre and take revenge. If the demon clan really fought with the human clan, the consequences would be unimaginable. It would shock the entire world. For a time, countless teleportation talismans were crazily sent out in all directions. All kinds of news spread quickly. And at this moment, in the heaven realm, the originally calm void suddenly trembled violently and distorted. With a loud rumble, a monstrous pressure crazily crushed in all directions like a tide. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chijien.com to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1145. The Ling Xiao demon court didn't try to hide their qi at all. It was as if many peerless masters were descending upon the world. The entire world seemed to be on the verge of destruction. Everywhere they went, countless creatures were forced to kneel on the ground. Countless immortal birds and beasts were forced to kneel on the ground in awe. Countless cultivators were forced to lie on the ground. The heaven realm was vast and boundless. It was a unique world that the human tribe had created by stealing a piece of land from the purple gold continent. Together with the chaos fragments, the source of the world, the source of life, the source of the five elements, and the spring of yin and yang, it was much more powerful and mysterious than the other realms. Although it couldn't be compared to the purple gold continent, it was the true headquarters of the human tribe. Countless living beings, countless elites. Almost all of them were born as cultivators. They were extremely powerful. It was the supreme holy land of the human race. The 9 great imperial empires of the human race, no, the WN show Imperial Empire, should be called the 8 great imperial empires now. Among them, 4 of them were in the heaven realm. In each ancient city, there were no mortals. All of them were cultivators. Each of them was an immortal city. In each immortal city, there were countless intricate formations and restrictions protecting it. The demon court was now the everlasting emperor dynasty of the 4 great imperial empires. The ruler of the emperor dynasty was called the everlasting emperor. He occupied a vast territory and had countless citizens. Boom, boom, boom. One by one, the immortal cities fell from the sky and landed on the ground, causing the ground to tremble. All kinds of divine light flashed in the immortal cities like tidewater, forming barriers that quickly covered and protected the ancient cities. However, countless terrified faces could still be seen. Quick, quick, quick. He activated the great defensive formation and all the restrictions. All the cultivators quickly infused their dharmic powers into the ancient city's restrictions. Send a signal to inform the imperial court that someone is about to offend the everlasting emperor dynasty. No, that's the demon court. One cultivator after another shrieked like a duck. Demon court, it's the demon court. Could it be that the demon race wants to start a war with the human race? Not good, something big is going to happen. I heard that the human race's almighty seniors went to look for trouble with the demon emperor, but were chased by the demon emperor through countless worlds. Could it be that they are coming back for revenge? It's over. Once they fight, the heaven realm will be destroyed. Bloodkill guards, that's the bloodkill guards. Why aren't there 100,000 of them? How many are there? Hundreds of thousands? Or millions of years? No, it's tens of millions. Such a huge number of bloodkill guards. Could this be the hidden trump card of the demon sovereign? This time, I'm afraid I've really angered the Demon Emperor. What's there to be afraid of? Our human race has countless cultivators and countless experts. We're not afraid of the demon race at all. If the demon race comes, we'll slaughter them all. Our human race is the main character of this world. And he was the eternal protagonist. Who cares about the demons? Kill, kill, kill. The mighty figures of our human race will definitely kill the shifter emperor. Countless human cultivators were filled with fear, shock, and confidence. All kinds of discussions resounded throughout the entire heaven realm in an instant. Lock onto the Star Mountain range and kill. Di Shitian glanced at the heaven realm and sneered. The human race had indeed occupied more than half of the resources of the entire purple gold continent. They had actually built the heaven realm to be thousands of times stronger than the other realms. However, he was not here to visit today. He was here to start a massacre. Rumble. The ultimate Emperor Jade Archive was absorbing a huge amount of chaotic chi from the primal chaos at a constant speed, pouring it into the entire ancient city. The lightning congregating towers, in particular, were continuously replenished without any pause, constantly maintaining the lightning congregating towers in the most abundant and powerful state. Under Di Shitian's order, there was no longer any hesitation. Countless purple heaven thunder guards put down everything and controlled the lightning gathering towers to launch the most powerful attacks on the countless immortal cities below. Divine thunder of different types was like raindrops, covering the sky and earth. They were densely packed and crazily smashed into the many immortal cities near the demon court. Rumble. Countless divine thunder smashed into the formations and restrictions of the immortal cities like raindrops. Those restrictions and formations were constantly distorted. Rumbling sounds could be heard, and there were faint signs that they were about to collapse. However, the countless cultivators in the cities did not just stand by and watch. All kinds of Dharma treasures collided with the divine thunder. A large number of Dharma spells and divine powers were smashed out like raindrops. However, under the full force of the demon court, almost half of these attacks and Dharma treasures were smashed into pieces and annihilated in the divine thunder. The forbidding auras only lasted for a brief moment before they were forcefully shattered. They fell into the immortal cities. Ah! 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 Countless screams were heard one after another. Every divine thunder blasted a large number of cultivators into pieces. Flesh and blood splattered everywhere, causing great destructive power. Countless human cultivators died tragically on the spot. Rumble. The demon court did not stop at all. It pulled out a dazzling divine light toward the Star Mountain range and tore through the sky at an astonishing speed. Wherever it passed, large amounts of ruins kept emerging. Countless cultivators were slaughtered. The Star Mountain range. It was the location of the Star Hall, one of the top 10 immortal sects. This mountain range was not on the ground. Instead, it was formed by many mountains that were suspended in the air. Each mountain was a divine mountain that was refined from the essence of the stars. There were a total of 365 mountains that were formed by the means of the heavenly cycle star formation. It was as strong as a tortoise. There were a large number of disciples and countless servants living on each mountain peak. At every moment, it was absorbing the power of the stars. It was very magical. In the middle stood a mysterious palace. Countless stars revolved around the palace. At this moment, a disciple in star robes rushed into the palace from outside with a panicked expression. As he ran, he shouted, "Sect Master, it's not good. The Demon Emperor is leading the demon court to kill our Star Mountain range. Along the way, countless immortal cities have been destroyed by the Demon Emperor without mercy. Hurry, hurry, the Demon Emperor is about to kill us." That voice was unusually sharp, like an old pimp in a brothel. Making a ruckus in the Stellar Hall, "Where is your manners?" In the Star Hall, a middle-aged man in a noble star robe shouted with a dignified face, "All disciples of the Star Hall, listen to my order. Inject your power into the Star Mountain and activate the heavenly cycle star formation. Fight to the death with the demon clan. Fight to the death. Fight to the death." Countless disciples of the Star Hall let out a thunderous roar. Boom, boom, boom. The star mountains kept flashing with the divine light of the stars. They kept vibrating and emitting a mysterious connection. They merged perfectly with each other and followed a mysterious trajectory, operating quickly. In an instant, all the mountains disappeared. The surroundings turned into a vast starry sky. The starry sky was completely isolated from the world, forming a strong barrier. Endless power of the stars poured in from the outside world. Rumble. Just as the entire star mountain range turned into a starry sky, the boundless and murderous demon court soared from afar at an astonishing speed. Along the way, countless cultivators fell under the demon court's hands. Di Shitian's expression did not change at all. He sat on the throne and looked at the starry sky before him. He shouted coldly, "Star Hall, you dare to attack me with the heavenly cycle star map. You have the intention to provoke me. Today, I will turn your Star Hall into dust. Lightning gathering towers, prepare to beat me up." Di Shitian's voice was filled with cold murderous intent. Beat. Not only did he want to beat them up, but he wanted to show the might of the demon court. He wanted to beat the hearts of the humans. "I don't care who is in charge of the star map. Since it is your Star Hall's supreme divine artifact, then this debt will be on your Star Hall. If I can't find the star map, I will destroy the Star Hall." Rumble. As soon as he finished speaking, the 296 billion lightning-gathering towers were surrounded by countless lightning bolts at the same time. The iron blood lightning cannons aimed at the vast starry sky before them. They exuded a destructive aura. "Demon Emperor, how dare you? This is the Star Hall, one of the top 10 immortal sects of the human race. If you dare to attack us, you will be provoking the entire human race. At that time, you will be dead. The human race will mobilize countless powerful figures to beat you to dust. Even your demon race will be completely annihilated. If you retreat now, there is still room for negotiation." The starry sky tumbled. The Star Hall sect master condensed his figure and scolded Di Shitian. Bang! Sakura didn't hesitate and directly stretched out his right hand. Stretching out a finger, he directly poked towards that condensed figure. Wherever it passed, the starry sky shook violently and a terrifying crack was poked open. No power could stop it. It turned into dust under the finger. The finger poked directly at the figure. The figure did not have the slightest resistance and was directly shattered by the finger. It exploded into billions of pieces. Noisy. Di Shitian spat out coldly. Bang bang bang. In an instant, the Ironblood Divine Cannon was fully activated. Bolts of great destruction divine thunder blasted into the massive heavenly cycle stellar array. On the spot, countless stars were destroyed. Countless bolts of divine lightning followed. In an instant, a terrifying destructive disaster erupted. RRR. In the massive heavenly cycle stellar formation, countless disciples were killed. Their bodies were blasted into pieces like bombs. Although the massive heavenly cycle stellar formation was powerful, each of the Ironblood Divine Cannons was equivalent to a peerless almighty. There were a total of 129,600 cannons. When fired together, no matter how powerful the formation was, it would be riddled with holes. The formation was about to be destroyed on the spot. "Demon Emperor, how dare you?" At that moment, a furious roar came from the void. The void distorted. A huge green lotus broke through the void. From the direction of the Star Hall, a vast star map rose into the sky. His berating voice was filled with boundless anger. It swept towards the demon court at an astonishing speed. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1146. The war is about to begin. Please vote. Brothers with votes, please vote. What kind of place was the Heaven Realm? It was the base camp of the human clan. It contained countless foundations of the human clan and had countless experts. At this moment, Di Shitian had rushed into the Heaven Realm with the demon court and was killing in all directions. He had destroyed countless immortal cities and killed countless cultivators. Moreover, he had charged all the way to the Star Hall, one of the 10 great immortal sects of the human clan. This was simply a slap in the face of the human clan. The slap was extremely loud and clear. At this moment, countless cultivators from the various heavens and clans were secretly watching the bloody battle between the demon clan and the human clan. It could be expected that the scene from before had been spread to various regions by countless cultivators from the various heavens. Almost all of the human clan's face had been lost. However, it also shocked the upper echelons of the human clan. A large number of experts were mobilized on the spot. They rushed over from all directions. The supreme divine artifacts were revealed without the slightest bit of concealment. Demon Emperor, you damned monster, how dare you rush into the heaven realm? You must have eaten a bear's heart and a leopard's gall. If I don't make you stay today, where will the human clan put their face? Kill. 10,000 green lotus swords, green lotus sword chi, cut through the void. In the vast divine light, the void shook violently. A huge green lotus that was hundreds of thousands of feet tall appeared. On the green lotus, countless sword chi flashed continuously. On the surface of the green lotus, it condensed into lifelike petals. Layer after layer, as the green lotus rotated, they were constantly disappearing. Each lotus seemed to be formed by countless battle swords, constantly devouring the surrounding heaven and earth origin chi. It gave birth to endless sword chi. 10,000 green lotus swords. One of the 10 great supreme divine artifacts, the 10,000 green lotus swords descended with boundless fury. As soon as the 10,000 green lotus swords appeared, it did not hesitate at all and began to spin. One round after another, the lotus flowers formed by countless green lotus sword chi bloomed one by one. It was like the purest and most beautiful immortal flower in the world. Countless petals fell one by one and drifted down. They quickly scattered in all directions like snowflakes. Those gorgeous and fantastical petals were like dancing fairies. In the blink of an eye, they filled the entire sky. Those petals didn't dissipate. Instead, they quickly gathered above the green lotus and condensed into a green lotus battle sword. Countless green lotuses appeared on the battle sword. Countless mysterious green lotuses appeared on the battle sword. Faintly, a mysterious green lotus sword song reverberated from the battle sword. A terrifying pressure that could destroy heaven and earth rolled toward the demon court like a tidal wave. Crack! The gigantic sword, which was millions of feet long, slashed down at the demon court. It was like the judgment battle sword in the hands of the heavenly god was about to split the demon court in half. Its power was comparable to that of a half-step sovereign. Under the battle sword, everything would be destroyed like dry weeds and rotten wood. Bang bang bang! On top of the lightning-gathering tower, the iron-blood divine cannons pointed their muzzles at the battle sword. It spewed out destructive lightning. Bolts of divine lightning filled with the power of great destruction struck the battle sword heavily. There were hundreds of thousands of bolts. The void was violently shattered. Countless bolts of lightning were shattered by the sword. However, each bolt of lightning continued to bombard the sword light on the battle sword, causing it to scatter and dim. The collision was extremely intense. In the blink of an eye, the battle sword was shattered into thousands of pieces by the lightning cannons. Bang bang bang! The 129,600 iron-blood divine cannons didn't stop for a moment. After shattering the battle sword, they bombarded the 1,000 green lotus sword. The 1,000 green lotus sword was also quite terrifying. Countless cultivators were praying inside. Countless lotus flowers were rapidly disappearing on the surface of the green lotus sword, colliding with the bolts of great destruction. Those lotuses were all shattered by the bombardment. However, after they were shattered, new petals began to sprout from them and continuously blocked the cannon light. Boom boom boom! Even so, the 1,000 green lotus sword was still forced back by the bombardment. Heavenly cycle star chart, star generals, attack the demon court. 4 directions constellation formation. Azure dragon, vermilion bird, white tiger, black tortoise. Kill, kill, kill. The heavenly cycle star chart quickly unfolded and instantly covered the entire void. The 9 supreme experts inside roared crazily. Previously, when they were chased by Sakra to the heavens and the earth, they had almost lost all their face. This time, when they entered the heaven realm to gather, they completely bared their fangs. If they didn't destroy the demon court, they wouldn't be able to get rid of the resentment in their hearts. Boom, boom, boom. Suddenly, the heavenly cycle star chart continued to evolve. Countless generals covered in the divine light of the stars whistled out and attacked the demon court. They even formed the constellation formation. Roar, roar, roar. A green dragon covered in starlight revealed its ferocious dragon claws. A white tiger revealed its fierce murderous intent. Countless white tiger sword chi blasted toward the demon court. The black tortoise spewed out black water. The vermilion bird's divine flames swept over like a tide. Each of them almost erupted with the terrifying power of a half-step sovereign. Bloodkill guards, listen to my command. Target the star chart, divine light of annihilation. Seeing the 2 supreme divine artifacts attacking, Blood Dove didn't panic. He shouted. Immediately, as soon as he finished speaking, the 10 million Bloodkill guards opened the blood-red divine eye between their brows and bombarded the divine generals and the 4 directions constellation formation. Swish, swish, swish. The annihilation divine light was a terrifying spell that was almost born for destruction. It was almost naturally suitable for the blood-killing guards. At this moment, they used it at the same time. Immediately, 10 million beams of blood-red divine light bombarded the star map, full of incredible destructive power. It was almost unstoppable. No power could stop it. Boom, boom, boom. Countless star generals were drowned in the divine light of annihilation on the spot. They were bombarded into powder. They directly pierced countless holes through the 4 directions constellation formation. They were crushed into pieces. It was extremely terrifying. The Ironblood divine cannon continued to fire at the 2 divine weapons. For a moment, the battle was incomparably fierce. From the beginning, the battle had entered a white-hot state. Each of the green lotus sword chi that spewed out from the 1,000 green lotus sword could kill a peerless expert. They were densely packed and bombarded the demon court. However, they were blocked by the 4 directions heavenly gates. They were directly shaken and scattered in large areas. For a moment, the battle was incomparably fierce. Terrifying cracks appeared in the void all around. It kept collapsing. The earth collapsed under the attack, forming countless abysses. Mountains collapsed. Mountains and rivers broke. Wherever they went, any attack could kill a peerless expert. The battle was so intense that it almost reached its peak. Under the attack of the 2 supreme divine artifacts, the demon court was not at a disadvantage at all. It charged left and right and fought crazily with the star chart and the 1,000 green lotus sword. This scene made the people who were secretly spying on them so shocked that they had the urge to escape. Oh my god, it's terrifying, too terrifying. I thought that the demon emperor would bring the soaring heaven demon court to the heaven realm and give the human clan a big gift, even paying with his life. I didn't expect the demon emperor and the soaring heaven demon court to be so powerful and terrifying. They can fight on par with the 2 supreme divine artifacts. Could it be that the demon court is about to become an immortal artifact? The demon emperor is indeed not to be trifled with. The human clan had just gone to stroke the tiger's whiskers, and the demon emperor immediately led a group of demons into the human clan's lair. This personality is simply not to be trifled with. No wonder they say that a tiger's but can't be touched. It's simply too terrifying. The human clan has completely lost their face this time. This time, there's really no way to end it. This situation is already too big. I'm afraid that if the battle continues, it will become even bigger and attract even more human experts. If the demon emperor continues to fight, I'm afraid that even escaping will be a big problem. Could it be that this is really the demon clan's swan song? Oh no, look, another supreme divine artifact is coming. This time, the demon court might not be able to withstand it. I don't know if the 4 directions heavenly gates are really as powerful as the legends say. Countless heavenly cultivators quickly discussed in secret. They also felt that Di Shitian's situation was quite dangerous. It could be said that this was an act of courting death. Right at this moment, a huge dark yellow treasure box tore through the air and flew over. On the treasure box, there were countless mysterious runes and runes. Inside the box, countless divine souls were constantly praying to each other. This was not an ordinary treasure box. It was an incredible sword box. It was the authentic supreme divine artifact of Xianxian, the Xiantian treasure box. Xianxian is supreme. Demon Emperor, you monster, how dare you provoke the human clan like this? Today, I'll let you know that there's no place in the world where you can be so arrogant. Xiantian 9 swords plus whirlwind cloud sword. The vast and boundless sword box flashed with bright divine light, and countless souls were constantly praying. Clang! The crisp sound of a sword reverberated through the void. A sky-piercing cyan sword broke out of the sword sheath. As soon as the sword appeared, a terrifying tornado swept out in all directions. The battle sword was completely formed from countless clouds and tornadoes. The void around the battle sword was rapidly twisting and shattering into millions of pieces as the tornadoes moved. Everywhere it went, it was as terrifying as a whirlwind. It erupted with terrifying sword pressure comparable to that of a half-step ruler. Rumble. It slashed down heavily at the demon court. Bang bang bang. Countless bolts of great destruction lightning continued to bombard the battle sword, but they were constantly twisted by the terrifying hurricanes. They continued to be worn down, bursting with terrifying power. Although their power was worn down, they still continued to slash at the demon court. Bang! The battle sword slashed at the southern heavenly gates. Rumble! The demon court shook violently. Boundless divine radiance erupted from his body. The Imperial Jade Archive absorbed a huge amount of heaven and earth yuan qi at an unbelievable speed. It erupted with monstrous divine power and shook the battle sword. However, the ancient city also fell several hundred feet. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1147. Damn it, damn it, damn it. The human race is so shameless. Every supreme artifact has 9 supreme experts guarding it, allowing them to unleash the supreme artifact's power to the limit. This is especially true for the supreme artifact at the peak of supreme artifact. Under their full power, every attack has the terrifying destructive power of a half-step sovereign. This time, the human race really wants to fight to the death with you, Madman Di. Dark yelled angrily. Supreme artifact was refined by all heaven's cultivators to contend against almighty experts. Once refined, even a low-grade supreme artifact could contend against an almighty expert. A mid-grade supreme artifact could not be broken without 3 or 4 almighty experts. A high-grade supreme artifact could not be destroyed without the continuous bombardment of a dozen almighty experts or the attack of a supreme artifact. As for a true peak supreme artifact, even an almighty expert would find it difficult to destroy it. Moreover, with the strength of an almighty expert, as long as they could fully unleash the power of a divine artifact, they could unleash the power of a half-step sovereign. This was the strength of a supreme artifact. In the past, the supreme divine weapons that Sakra faced were all divine weapons that didn't have a peerless expert overseeing them. That was why he was always free and unfettered. At that time, the divine weapons simply didn't display the tyrannical power that belonged to divine weapons. At this moment, the humans were clearly enraged. Every supreme artifact had 9 almighty experts guarding it. They could fully unleash the power of the divine artifact, and every strike could split the chaos. Humph! How dare you? With us 4 heavenly kings here, who dares to be impudent? Boom! 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 The entire demon court was slashed down by the black sky treasure box and fell down several hundred feet. This immediately enraged the 4 heavenly kings guarding the 4 heavenly gates. 4 thunderous roars were heard as 4 towering figures rose from the ground. They were clad in battle armor, and their faces were full of majesty as they glared at the four directions. The Eastern Heavenly King held a strange green umbrella in his hand, the North Heavenly King held a 9-story black tortoise sky-suppressing pagoda, the West Heavenly King held a strange golden banner, and the South Heavenly King held an ancient seal. The four Heavenly Kings' auras were awakened, and they burst out with an almighty aura comparable to an almighty expert. East Heaven's Gate. Suppress the dance of the azure dragon, the Eastern Sky King said coldly. Suddenly, an illusory image of the Eastern Heaven's Gate formed above the Eastern Heaven's Gate and pressed down on the celestial cycle star chart in the east. It was hundreds of thousands of feet in size. Everywhere it went, the heaven and earth yuan qi in the east seemed to be completely frozen in an instant. Roar! Numerous azure dragons that were hundreds of thousands of feet long spewed out from the East Heaven's Gate. They intertwined and intertwined, forming a pair of azure dragon scissors that cut toward the heavenly star map in a domineering manner. The space that was cut by the scissors was sharply cut in half. It was so overwhelming that it seemed like it was going to cut the heavenly star map into pieces. However, the heavenly star map formed 4 constellations that swept toward the azure dragon scissors in a frenzy. There were also a large number of star generals. But when the scissors cut down, a large number of those star generals were cut in half. North Heaven's Gate. Suppress the north and seal the heavens and earth. The North Heavenly King also roared. Coincidentally, the 1,000-sword green lotus in the north spewed out billions of green lotus sword chi and slashed toward the demon court. Every sword light was extremely terrifying. However, the North Heaven's Gate formed an illusory East Heaven's Gate that was hundreds of thousands of feet long and pressed toward the north. Waves of white cold air spewed out like a tide. The void was frozen in the blink of an eye. Countless sword chi were frozen, and the void turned into an ice domain. No one knew how thick it was, but there were still sword chi that cut the ice crystals into pieces. But with the North Heaven's Gate, the green lotus sword chi could not even break through. South Heaven's Gate. Suppress the south and burn the 9 heavens. The South Sky King looked at the Xian Tian treasure box and shouted coldly. The shadow of the Gate of Heaven condensed and pressed down towards the south. From the Gate of Heaven, terrifying fiery birds swarmed out like tidal waves, bringing with them a mighty power that could burn the heavens and the earth. Everywhere they went, the void was burned into ashes. It was unusually domineering and had the power to burn the sky and destroy the world. Rumble. Countless fire birds. Wherever they went, the ground turned into boiling lava. The earth was burned. Xiantian treasure box, black ice flame sword. Endless divine light shot out from the Xiantian treasure box, and another battle sword flew out. The battle sword was extremely huge and pierced through the sky. However, one side of the sword was crimson red and exuded endless heat, while the other side was icy blue and exuded a terrifying black ice power. The two opposing forces converged together. Every collision produced an unimaginable destructive power. The sword slashed down. It was locked in a stalemate with the South Heaven's Gate. This scene left the countless spectators dumbfounded. The 4 cardinal heavenly gates are indeed extremely powerful. Each of the heavenly gates is a top-tier carnate spiritual treasure. They have such powerful offensive power. The cold air that they spit out can freeze the world. The azure dragons can even cut mighty figures to death. The flames that they spit out can almost burn the world and destroy everything. 1 against 3. He's not at a disadvantage at all. The demon court of Lingxiao is so strong that it's hard to estimate. 1 man can hold the pass against 10,000. The cultivators screamed in astonishment. They all ran away. If they were involved in the battle, they would be crushed immediately. Rumble. At this moment, a vast god artifact suddenly appeared in the sky above the Lingxiao demon court without any warning. It faced the demon court in an extremely domineering manner, suppressing the demon court. With a terrifying roar, the illusory images of the 4 heavenly gates were crushed into pieces. It pressed down on the demon court like crushing dry weeds. The demon court shot out billions of rays of 9-colored divine light, and the entire ancient city fell thousands of feet. However, A vast power also erupted from the city and pulled the divine artifact out. Oh my God, the head of the 10 supreme divine artifacts, the eternal kingdom. A cultivator saw it and opened his mouth wide in shock. It could not be closed for a long time. The eternal kingdom suppresses the heavens. It is eternal and immortal. Suppress, suppress, suppress. In the void, a strange force was staring at it. It was as if the entire time had stopped in an instant, and eternity had been achieved in an instant. A voice that shook all worlds reverberated in the void. As the voice echoed, billions of rays of divine light poured down like a tide. Then, all kinds of mysterious prayers spread along with the divine light. There were figures of gods, demons, Buddhas, and immortals that seemed to be illusory, but also seemed to be real, flying freely in the divine light. On their faces, there was a kind of great freedom and transcendent beauty. It was as if there were no worries. There was only eternal joy and endless beauty. All the bad things had disappeared. The prayers came from their mouths, making the surrounding aura seem incomparably solemn and dense. Sacredness could not be profaned. Endless power of faith poured into the eternal kingdom. It was a disk that looked like a flying saucer. It was incomparably huge. Outside the eternal kingdom, rings of divine light kept circling around it. There were a total of 9 rings. In each ring, there were countless gods and Buddhas praying. Each ring was like an eternal river of time. Good, good, good. Seeing this, Sakra sneered and said, "Even the eternal country is here, very good. Today, if this emperor doesn't turn your heavenly realm upside down, this emperor's head will be directly taken down for you to kick like a ball." Seeing the arrival of the eternal kingdom, not only did he not feel fear, but it also aroused a monstrous desire to fight. He looked up to the sky and laughed wildly. Heaven's will is like a blade. Time is like a blade. Eternal will turns into an immortal blade. Eternal blade, kill, kill, kill. A cold voice reverberated in eternal kingdom. Suddenly, illusory battle blades condensed out of thin air in the 9 divine rings. There seemed to be a river of time flowing in each of the battle blades. Each slash seemed to contain the will of the heavens, the will of the heavens. Everywhere the slashes passed by, the sky kept collapsing. It was as if time was passing by. 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 Time was strangely frozen under the blades. The operation of all things stopped at this moment. Bang, bang, bang. In the demon court, countless iron blood divine cannons roared madly like raindrops, spewing out destructive thunder fire and bombarding the eternal blades. The godly thunder of destruction was formed by the fusion of countless godly thunders. It also had the characteristics of the eternal godly thunder. The eternal blade could stop time, but it could not stop the godly thunder of destruction. It kept colliding with the eternal blade. Suddenly, in the eternal kingdom, one of the 9 divine lights outside was like a millstone or a frisbee. It left the country and crashed into the demon court with lightning speed. At the same time, the other 3 supreme divine artifacts also erupted with power at this moment. In the black sky treasure box, 3 different battle swords slashed down. 3 roars sounded: metamagnetic godslaying sword, yin-yang daybreak sword, 8 desolation picturesque sword. In the star map, the 28 mansions appeared. Countless stars gathered and condensed into the purple star emperor. It swept over with a roar. The 1,000 green lotus sword crashed into the demon court. Rumble. The lightning-gathering tower completely exploded. Billions of divine thunders covered the sky like a tide. Streaks of destructive lightning broke through the sky. Shattering the vacuum, the blood-kill guards burst out streaks of destructive divine light of annihilation. Outside the demon court, countless divine lights enveloped the entire ancient city like a tide. The 4 supreme divine artifacts were locked in a fierce battle. In an instant, countless attacks erupted. Tens of millions of miles of the void collapsed and collapsed, constantly spewing out destructive aftershocks. In the center of the battlefield, even light could not be transmitted. It was as if the world had lost its sound in an instant. There was only destructive annihilation. Crack, An unusually ear-piercing shattering sound rang out. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.